video. If you have not yet registered for the 4th annual AHRA No Name Nationals, there's a link pinned at the top. Do remember, when you register early, it helps us, and when you register, you get on the list for Edelbrock incentives. And you can buy 10 to 15% off everything at edelbrock.com. We have our own concierge.
All right, I am started. John Wilburn is finishing up, saying his goodbyes, so people will begin to sort in, shuffle in, saunter in, whatever people do, whatever way they arrive. Any moment. Hello, Buddy Carfano. Yeah, we're doing a little bit of cleanup crew, and we're definitely going to be doing some cleanup. Got the toolbox here, got the workbench, I got the something on the stand so we can be a little bit attention deficit and bounce around from one thing to another. We don't have a car in the shop today. Well, we have pieces of a car in the shop today, but it's just going to be a slow start. Bob Del Campo was meandering through his day, and we hadn't planned on starting. We didn't even know if we were going to stream. So he had to go to the Hilltop Market and get some meat to go on the barbecue tomorrow, or the smoker. I think it'll go on the smoker. Ray from 38 Racing is here. Welcome to the stream. So he had to go to the market. He left about 20 minutes ago, maybe 25 minutes ago, and he'll be back pretty quick. So I am on my own until he gets back. So you guys got to be a little bit easy on me. Mama M3 is here. Welcome to the stream, Colleen. Good to see you. Lester LeSabre is here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, people are going to be filing in. John's just finishing up right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Mr. John Wilburn of the promoter of the No Name Nationals event, which is a nice place for a lot of our YouTube content creators to hang out. And you don't have to be a YouTube content creator to enjoy that event, but you do to participate. So I'm surprised more people don't come, but I'm also not, because travel and vacation time, it's always in short supply. When you have the money, you don't have the time, and when you have the time, you don't have the money. Retired Inspector Bruce is here. Hello, just tuned in. Well, you made it just in time. We only got a couple of people showed up so far. Go easy on you. Yeah, I can't keep up to tons and tons of chats and questions and requests. He's the talker in the group, man. Some days, especially on Tuesday nights, I plan all day to bring my big energy, right? But other days, it's debatable. I still got some coffee going in here. That once that's down, I'll be a little bit turned up. So I did get a little bit done outside during the daytime today. I got the skid loader started up. It's been cooperating pretty well. It was fussy a little bit. I think I have to take the carburetor off again. Man, that carburetor on that, it's a Honda GX620 twin cylinder engine. And that carburetor is just poop. And I know it's partially the tank that I'm using, but I've got a fuel filter on it now, but it's just still, it keeps fouling. 9.5 people watching? Absolutely. 9.5 people. Crash Road Runner Garage is here. Welcome to the stream. Everybody who's here so far gets 3 points for being so darned prompt of getting here. Like right away, you popped over here. I would think a lot of people take a little break and then stop in. Bob Del Campo was upset with me. He didn't like that we were going to start so early, and he was not ready. And I made the Dean, welcome to the stream. But I made the thumbnail, and he usually does that, so I took his job, and I didn't do it in the same text font as he usually does. So he's a little upset about that. So I'm a little on his nerves right now. I'm going to share it with Olive if I can. Okay, that sounds good. So I did run the skid loader a little bit, and I pulled the frame for the Spitfire up. So it's up above the garage. So we should be able to push it down in here without starting any equipment or any struggle when it's time. It's not time yet. We have the firewall. Oh, did anybody notice that we put up a new video? I think we put it up this afternoon. I don't know when we finally got a thumbnail for it. He wanted me to change around the intro just a little bit. He'll get over to you. Spoken like a true woman, right? It's just a man. He'll get over it. No. Sometimes he really needs a, a boot to get him going. He's retired now, and he doesn't have the same motivation. Dougster is here. Dougster of Wolverine Garage. Have no fear. Potato. Welcome to the stream, Dougster. Did the brake free up on the spitter? You just missed it. We did get that one freed up. Then we put a clamp on it because it was a dual piston caliper. We put a clamp on the side that freed up, and we freed up the other side of that dual piston caliper. And then we've been, I had nice weather, so I dragged it out and pressure washed it. So I haven't had a chance to do any work on the other side of the front end, and it's not even properly put back together. But we do have a model that is a working model for freeing up the calipers. We got one freed up. Yeah, the piston cups move properly, so that is good. We'll be able to. I'll be able to get the other side. I feel confident. We really had to build some good pressure to get it going. Dean Stevenson says that's because his delicate feng shui. I agree. He needs his ducks to be in a row. We can soften him up when he arrives. Dean, that I would really appreciate that. Put in a good word for me. You know, like tell him how thankful you are that I got the live going. You guys were, really hoping for him to be here, and you're glad that, that kind of stuff. Mexican Spec is here. His Mexican connection. How is Junior Spec? Did he have fun with his friends? How are all your plans and projects going? Thank you for coming in, Mexican Spec. Although you are not obligated to work too hard. It's Friday night. It's cleanup crew. This is not. This is easy. Everyone can relax, have conversation. Just, it doesn't have to be official or whatever. Kick back, have a snack, some wobble pops, whatever it takes for you to relax on your Friday night. You survived another week, and or like some of the more diligent among us, you can tinker with something in the shop with us playing on your phone in the background, and just out of the corner of your brain you can follow along with what's going on, or if you have questions or whatever. We just like being here. If there's somebody else that wants to do a cleanup cruise, late night stuff, let us know, and we will not step on your toes. For a little while there, we were really trying to get in our view hours. We have more than enough. Like, we don't have to stream multiple times a week. We just do it because it's kind of fun. And it you know what? It gets him out into the shop. If I start a live, he doesn't want to miss it. So, okay, I missed a couple things. Oh, Lester LeSabre has a video of his Fairmont being loaded on the transport. Oh, Lester, you have got to be so, like, watering at the mouth, waiting to get your new vehicle. Mexican Spec also got that video. It's just like pre-cranking the Model T Ford before starting it later. Interesting. I don't think Bill Campo is not a Model T. He's probably like a Model A. Or, No, even later than that. I don't know. Somebody would know. Yes, you all have my permission to indulge in just a little snack or treat of some kind. You deserve it. I'm so proud of you. You made it through another week in this insane world, right? Here at Del Campo, it has been good. And the other thing that I did was the back half of the Spitfire, because it is now split at the rockers, straight across the middle of the body at the rockers. The front end here is dressed down, and then the back end, I cut the bum portion of the car off, so it's just like the wheel wells and some of the rear floors. Um, and we maybe we'll drag that in later. Um, Lester LeSabre says I did a good job getting the body off by myself. It was actually easier to get the body off than it was to get that stupid windshield frame. I made myself sore to the point of almost being ill fighting with that dumb windshield frame. It was so dumb. But yeah, the body was not too bad. A little bit of leverage, and once I had forgotten to take from the relay solenoid relay thing down to the starter wire. I had forgotten to take that off, so that was fighting me, and I didn't realize it. And then I just cut the outermost ears off the frame horns for the body, and then it was gone. It was easy. Tomorrow is the end of the week. Well, if you look at it from like the 9 to 5, nobody works 9 to 5 anymore, do they? Everybody works Tuesday through Saturday or Monday through Sunday. I don't know. Luckily, I work from home, so every day's a work day. Mexican Spec says, Junior Spec says he had a good time with his friends. They are friends from elementary school, so they have a lot of history together. Oh, wow. I don't see or talk to anyone from that long ago in my life. What a nice time when I had friends like that. Buff is a 54 model year, I think. I don't know. I should know, huh? He's 71, so that's close to that. Get all the lubricating surfaces slick first. Oh, by cranking that T. Yeah. Pre-lubricate. Lester LeSabre, he says he's really anxious to get it. The garage is almost all fixed up for it. There you go. Did you paint the floor and, change the light bulbs so they're all nice and bright and fresh? Mexican Spec says I had to walk to the store to get groceries. The temp sensor on my Durango dies, so I can't drive it. I have a new sensor, though. Well, got to get that installed. Dougster said 7 to 3. Is that the score? Or is that the work hours? Louise says, happy 20th anniversary to YouTube for everyone. Has it been that long that YouTube has been out there? Wow. What's the first thing people remember ever watching on YouTube? Lester LeSabre says, I would really like to have a Fairmont. You are going to love driving it. It's a nice Fox body kind of car. Does the rear suspension attach to the body on the spitter? Ray, there is a part of the suspension. There's a front, there's a trailing arm that comes from, they got lazy and they just attached to the body, like the floor pan support. But we're either going to reuse a little bit of a part of the floor pan, or we can just make honestly, we could just take a piece of angle iron and attach it, because it's pretty simple. I think, yes, but it's not a problem. It's not like the whole suspension is going to fall apart. Dean Stevenson says it's actually the start of the week. The Romans changed the 1st to the 7th. All right, well then let's celebrate the beginning of the week. See, Dean, there's always an excuse. Cinco de Mayo or something. Mexican Spec says he got his 1983 AMC Spirit out of the backyard so they can use it, but it needs a fuel pump. Yeah, vehicles that sit around. The yeah, rubber parts like the diaphragm in a fuel pump will get fossilized, and yeah, that's pretty common. Mexican Spec says Cold War Motors started YouTube 5 years after YouTube started, and they still only have 68,000 subs. 68,000 is a lot of subs. Now, there's people with millions. I don't know though. Are there millions of people watching anybody's channel? Like when we put out a video, right? A couple hundred people maximum, if we put out a long form video, maximum we get is like 500 views. So even though the channel has over 4,000 subscribers, we really only have about 500 people who pay any attention to us, which I think is fantastic. Like, I can't believe there's that many people who are interested in us working on our old junk, but I'm glad that they find it entertaining enough to watch. Like, most of the people who click, they watch a large portion of what we do. To me, that's a real compliment that people will view because, people have short attention spans. We all have a lot going on. I think it's great that people are interested in watching. 38 Racing says, Kim, I thought it looked like it. Yeah, and you know what? I didn't video anything about that yet, but we're going to have to figure out a resolution to that before much longer. So I'm guessing this coming week we'll be already up to working out what we do with that. And some of the things that we're doing on this are not, I don't think they're the way Buff Del Campo would do them if he had like they're not the best way to do it, but in some ways they're the cheapest or quickest way. And since it's kind of for looks, like I don't think we're going to take it and, do mileage testing or anything like that on it. It's mostly just to, we want to demonstrate the techniques to use this aluminum to make a car body. He wants to kind of, I would like to say he wants to show off his talents, but he's a little rusty. I think he wants to brush up on his talents a little bit. And then maybe the next version, I think maybe we'll build from scratch, or I don't know. But I want to get this to where he can start building. And I think he might be a little intimidated. I'm worried that he's kind of like sabotaging my efforts to really fast track this because he doesn't want to look foolish because he's a little bit slowed down since he's retired. All right, let's see what's going on. I'm not reading. Dean says it doesn't have to be complicated, and it probably doesn't even matter. Lester LeSabre says, Mexican Spec, obviously a fuel pump. I mean, it's always a fuel pump, right? At least with a car like that, the fuel pump's just on the side of the engine block. Shouldn't be too hard to get to. It's not like you have to drop the tank and ugh, what a mess. Luis got 720 subscribers. That's fantastic. Congratulations. Mexican Spec says AutoZone removed all old parts from their system. Really? How old is old? Is that everywhere or is that just local? Somebody will pick them up. You know what I mean? If they purge them all out, it'll go to some other lower tier provider. You'll have to order them from like Rock Auto or something like that. It's going to get harder to get parts for older cars. We're going to have to start being very resourceful in how we do that. Lester LeSabre says, Kim, I cleaned all the junk out and did paint the floor. Nice. We've been talking. I was trying to convince Buff Del Campo, like if we paint the floor in here, like it'll make stuff pop better on video. We'll have better, although I don't want it to be too reflective. I don't know. We might paint the floor. But yeah, wow, does it dress a place up when you throw some paint on some stuff. Mexican Spec says Tony started 7 years ago and has almost 420,000 subscribers. 68K after 15 years is not a lot. Yeah, but Tony is doing phenomenal. Phenomenal. He does really, really well. I don't know what he's doing better than Cold War Motors. I don't know. Excuse me. They're living the dream. Only 5 million. I thought they sold many more burgers than that. Dean Stevenson likes the arguments about the first or seventh day. Oh, I'm sorry, Dean. I don't know that everybody wants to listen to me argue about that. 38 Racing says it's a proof of concept car. Well, let's hope. Let's hope. You know what? I took over a lot here. When I came here, I started working on old junk cars. I had all these aspirations and stuff like that, and I really took over. My car came in here, took a bunch of time, and then we were working on the Valiant, and then we're supposed to make a turbo. But the whole time, I sort of overlooked the fact that he had this dream to build this aluminum car. And he has all the materials here, and he has this specialized knowledge. And none of us are getting any younger, but Buff Del Campo, he's starting to see some neurological decline. He's got a little bit of the shake, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse. And he's worried that in a couple of years he may not be able to do some of these things. So the knowledge gets lost. He'd like to document the processes. He'd like to show what his skills are like, not for his own ego, but so that other people can build on what he's learned. And he knows he's missed his chance in the aircraft industry, right? There's a lot of information that's gonna go. When he's gone, there won't be anybody who knows how to do some of the things that he knew how to do with aluminum aircraft. And he'd like to at least share some of his skills. If it, he can't fly anymore and he can't travel like he used to be able to. So, anyways, I'm getting off on that too much, and I don't want to embarrass him. He doesn't like thinking too much about that. But I realize that now's the time to delve into that while the getting's good. 38 Racing says I've been stocking up on the new parts for the old cars. Yeah, it's difficult balance, right? Because I want to stockpile parts, but it gets expensive, and I don't know. I need to focus, right? This is what we're doing now. This is what I can't buy parts for cars that I'm not working on and might never work on. But it's tough to make those choices. Hailstorm in Nebraska with tennis ball size hail destroyed the house and truck. Oh, that's awful. His friend Luis's friend Simon has a 74 Grand Torino. That's a cool car. Lester LeSabre asks, can you use a universal electric fuel pump? So if you're going to use an electric fuel pump, you really need a fuel pressure regulator and a return line. So it's a little more elaborate, but nothing beats the simplicity of a good working mechanical fuel pump. It's a shame that they're getting harder to get, you know. Mexican Spec says AutoZone removed the listing for parts like a fuel pump for a Slant 6 and for the Spirit. It isn't they are out of stock. They removed the listing in the system. Why would they just remove the listing in the system? I don't know. We'll have to go someplace other than AutoZone then. There are other parts suppliers. That's that's the reality of it. If they're not making a lot of money selling fuel pumps for Slant 6 vehicles anyways. They don't care. They got to sell what makes them money. Why list it? They don't even want to fuss with it. I don't know. That's the nature of certain things. At some point, they're in the business to make money. They don't care about our old junkers. Or even some classic cars. If you have a performance classic car, though, they probably... But it's a consideration. When you pick a project, you need to see if parts are available. Because there's cars that now, I don't know. I'm not a purist. So if I need a fuel pump and I can't get a factory style one, I'll figure out a way to make something from something else work. But not a lot of people can't and don't want to have to do that. They want to just bolt on an identical part. And it is a lot more time consuming. And boy, trying to get a shop to do that for is probably near impossible. I don't know. Olive says AutoZone's computers have been screwed up for some time. Oh, okay. Oh, what'd you get? Oh, you brought me more cupcakes. You evil, evil man. Thank you so much. Okay, here, you can have this chair.
Well, I was gonna. Okay, I can sit there. Thought you had the show here tonight.
No, I just got them started. I got them warmed up. I warmed up the crowd for you.
What time is it?
How you feeling?
Well, I went up to Hilltop. On the internet it says they close at 10.
They close at 9.
7.
7. Okay.
So I went up there for nothing.
Well, did you go to the other store?
So I went to another store.
Okay.
And it was
Did you find a cut of meat that you like?
Yeah, but it was like twice as much money. But...
Oh man. Well, next time you'll know. That's all you can do.
Yeah, over $50 worth of meat.
$50. Wow, that's a nice cut of meat, maybe.
Well, it was for what's those things? Those steaks that Matt likes.
Tri-tip.
No. Ribeyes.
Ribeyes, okay. Oh, there's some nice cuts of meat there.
Oh yeah. Well, so eat your cupcakes.
I will have a cupcake. Go ahead and
6 cupcakes.
There's a ton of people in here.
Oh,
everybody's
what do we got
hanging
here?
out. You know what?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm not paying attention to chat.
John Wilburn went right up until we started. And
Really?
then a bunch of people just come right over.
Slid right over. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So we had a good talk.
Like Dean and
I've just
Ray
been hanging out, talking about what's going on around here. Not much has changed since
Luis
yesterday.
and
Ray asked if we ever got the brake
Mexican.
caliper freed up, which we did.
Oh, did you tell him how we did it?
Yeah, but he was watching.
Oh.
Wasn't he watching?
I don't know. Yeah.
He was watching.
Did
Check it out. Look at these beautiful cupcakes that he got for me. Isn't that nice? I like these better than the chocolate ones. The chocolate ones.
Do you really? Because they had both, and I thought the only reason I got these is because I knew you still had one chocolate one left.
Oh no, I ate them all.
You ate it. You ate it. Okay.
I was glad they were gone. This is too much sugar. I keep enjoying. I can't stop.
I wish I could eat those. Those would look so good.
Here, have a little bit.
No, it's just.
You're like, no.
Yeah, what do you want to see my blood sugar go up?
I plugged the heating seedling mat in, so you can put your feet on it for a little while if you want.
I'm okay.
My feet
let's see.
cold
All of
and they
yours.
were better.
Mama M3, Junkyard D, Dean Stevenson already said hi.
Everyone's saying hello to you.
Yeah, Mexican spaghetti Easter cupcakes are cheaper the next week. That's what I told her. I said, man, I didn't get you anything on Easter. She goes, get it next week when it's all on sale. Mm-hmm. So I went up there, and they'd already cleared it all out one day, and they cleared it all out.
I'm that kind of person. Like I don't need
What is
tools for
this?
that.
Doug's are Buffmeister stashed power turned up to 11. You know what else I bought? See, okay, I bought. See, we're going over my sons for an event tomorrow. So I bought the steaks. I bought corn. They had big corn. So I bought corn.
Perfect.
And I bought.
It's so early to be getting corn. It must be coming
Oh,
from like Mexico or something.
Yeah, it's probably coming from Mexico or something. And then Lester's Sabre. Lester LeSabre's here. Mean Street Mopar
just
here.
got here. Welcome to the stream.
And
Buff Del Campo just got here. We've started.
Yeah, she'd already gone, and I was at the store and just came rolling in. And then
we've been doing good.
What else did I get? Oh, I got beer.
You bought beer?
With no alcohol.
Oh, you bought alcohol?
Yeah, NA beer. so I can have a beer at his house tomorrow night. Because I can't drink alcohol. I drank those other those white Claw.
Yeah.
It's almost like it had no alcohol, but man,
well, you drank 4 or 5 of them all at once.
No, I didn't drink 5 of them all at once.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
4?
So that I didn't. I felt horrible after that. So I
overdid it a little bit.
I don't want. Yeah, I just didn't feel good. So I don't want.
You said they were real good until they weren't.
I don't want any more alcohol. It just isn't.
I'm sorry.
It doesn't do me any good. And then my blood sugar goes up, and then I just turned it crap.
I'm sorry. You were supposed to enjoy them.
I know. It's hard to enjoy one of those. So let's see. Yeah, I did see the answer, Mexican Spec. See, I didn't look at it that closely. I thought maybe it's a flower car or something. But after you said that, I looked at where they had moved that tailgate forward, and then I see the third brake light way up in the pickup bed. It was a hearse that somebody made a 4-door pickup out of. It was a big Buick. And I think they did a pretty nice job on it. It's hard to say. I mean, it looked like it. But the Fairmont is on the
way to
on the way to, I thought I was going to say watt meter.
It's on the trailer for the transporter.
Oh, I figured you'd go down and drive it up. Okay. Let's see here. 11 is top of the meter. Where it goes above that is unknown, but the needle is always buried. Okay. It's like my 64 Ford. Is that the car? Maybe it's a 57 Ford. The speedometer goes all the way up past 120, and then you can't see the needle, but it shows up in the generator light. And that's how fast you go. I don't know. Generator light.
Speaking of silly thermometers, speedometers.
There's grain neutral spirits in those White Claws, so they can give undeserved hangovers. Oh, they will not. I don't feel good afterwards.
This is the speedometer for the.
Oh man, that's reflective.
Yeah, for the Spitfire. You see what it goes to?
I don't know. What, 120?
It does.
Yo, you're gonna go 120 in that thing?
Never.
Downhill with a tailwind in high gear. Or
maybe my gosh, not me! I'm jumping out before we get that fast. Jeez.
Hair going straight back.
With a rocket turbine on the back of it.
So, yeah, the White Claws are. I looked at them. I thought somebody gave me one, and it had 2 grams of carbs in it. I go, oh, I can drink this, and it went down really nice. So then I bought some, but nah, no more.
Hey, while you're catching up with the chat, which by the way, thanks everybody for being here. Which torch do you want to practice with this aluminum muggy weld stuff? We have the Burnzomatic brand aluminum welding rods.
Probably the oxyacetylene rig.
Okay, you don't want the torch that I have. That's just a.
Oh, I forget about that thing. Yeah, let's try that.
Okay, if it's not good,
she's got a weird torch. It's acetylene only. That's the only bottle is acetylene, but somehow it bleeds air in there, so it's acetylene and air, which actually makes a pretty decent torch. It's just I'd never seen that.
It should be plenty hot for aluminum.
Oh God, yeah. Now I can control it with that. Okay,
I've got 2 tips and not the greatest.
Oh, it says you're better off making your own spritzers with some fizzy water and decent vodka. Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
No, he doesn't drink that much.
No, I drink like Yeah, there's a guy brought me old friend brought me a really nice bottle of whiskey, probably some expensive stuff. Christmas one year, and it was Christmas the next year. I still haven't finished it, but eventually I did finish it. I just pour a little bit in a Diet Coke or something once in a while, and gives it a little bite, you know. So let's see here.
Sorry.
You know, and I get the same kind of bite or feeling or whatever it is from those A&W zero sugar root beers. Those things are good too. They do.
Scooch this way.
Man, am I in everybody's way?
No, the other way.
No, this way. No, that way.
I thought.
This way? You're like you're upset with me.
No.
Okay. You're gonna have me weld, right? You're gonna have me practice in front of everybody.
Colleen says she can't wait to see your aluminum work. Well, I was talking about the Spitfire and that we're gonna make.
Oh yeah. Well, we have to right over there behind Kim. There's a here comes the ads.
Click them away.
I'll wait. It's too late.
No.
I'll wait for the
I
ads.
mean, oh good, ads.
Yeah, we'll have some pennies coming in. Okay,
Yeah.
so there's a 52-inch shear over there and a 48-inch finger brake, and I'm going to need access to all that. And then what we can do is probably put a table there, so we have something to roll sheet melt.
Do you want to start with the
aluminum.
little tip or the big tip?
I don't know, what do they look like? I didn't know there was one.
There's the big tip.
Oh, that's huge.
Here's the little tip. The little tip's kind of.
Which one we've been using? The big tip?
I think they're using the big tip.
I'll try that.
Let me see what it looks like.
Here we go. She's going to make me do something I've never done before. Yeah, still good, even though stronger than a wine cooler. So, yeah, the channel. What? Oh, Inspector Bruce is here. Oh, ad for Simrad. What's Simrad? Kim, what's Simrad?
Mm-hmm.
And a Granger commercial. You're making me nervous. Next inspector's ad suck. Inspector Bruce says, I don't know what that is, but he got an ad for it. So, Kim, you got to give points to these people.
Everybody who tells us about their advertisements gets rewarded with 2 points every time you get an ad. So thank you.
Was it Olive got Granger ad and Dougster got a Granger ad? Granger's paying our way.
You know what? Granger advertises a lot. I see Granger ads when I'm not streaming. But Granger, you know, they're good. We're the kind of people that would use Granger if we had one locally and we're, you know, if we were doing more than working on cars.
And Mrs. One-Eyed Cat's here. Okay, what do we got here? Have you
I hit that with the
wire wheel?
The brush a little bit. Yeah. Not too heavy though, because I want to see how it responds. Does it need more or
Can
is
you
that good?
open that for me?
Yeah, I'm just gonna poke one out the side.
Get my gloves. You're gonna have to take care of the chat. I'm gonna be operating the torch.
Well, yeah. Olive got another one from Husky Liners earlier. So I don't know if it counts. If it was.
I want to get my good welding gloves. I don't even think I can get to anything on that side of the
shop. Yeah, that side of the shop's in bad shape.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I can.
Maybe we can.
Dark. Yeah, I can.
Okay. See? I knew you could do it. Did I see that? Let's see.
What you doing? What are you doing? Why are you putting why are you putting those on there?
Well, they won't get hot. You wanna?
No, that's why I got the gloves.
Oh, you got the gloves. You're smart.
I never welded with those things before.
Okay.
Can you like this and show? Everybody's gonna be talking, and I'm not paying attention at all.
That's okay.
No, it's not. That's why everybody laughed last night.
Do you guys? Well, no, it's okay. Let me talk for a few minutes. Do you guys like it better with the lights in the back out, or with them on? I thought maybe this would show up better. Let's see.
I think it'd be better if I were back there. I'm too close with the heat to you and everything.
Not too close, but okay.
Yeah, I am. Okay. If you can light this thing for me.
Yeah. Let me get him started, and I will read your chats. And you can repeat yourself. If I miss a chat, you can repeat yourself. I'll try not to ignore people. I have this pretty high. If you need, I can turn it down a couple of notches, but this can get you hot pretty quick.
Good.
We just have a chunk of test aluminum. You guys want me to put you up on a stand so you can see better?
No, I don't know what I'm doing. Don't show everybody what I don't know what I'm doing.
We have that Carson late night feel. There you go. We need a curtain back there. Right? We're all here learning. Who here is an expert in using aluminum muggy weld? None of them. See? There's no hands up.
Can you put your hands up in there?
I don't know.
Yeah, this thing's pretty thick, isn't it?
Yeah, you can throw heat at the backside if you want.
Yeah, I won't be able to do that when it's putting it together.
I keep trying to plug up the mic on this machine with mastic, but it keeps falling off and may not work. Mexican Spec says we might fall off the stand because there are so many of us. Are there a lot? Oh, there is kind of a lot of people. One-Eyed Cat says no test drive first. This is a test. This is just a piece of scrap.
This is a piece of junk.
Once he gets it figured out.
Oh yeah, that's sucking up a lot of heat.
If he gets it figured out, then I've got the real piece here that we had to make some modifications to, and now it needs built back together. If he can't figure it out and we can't get it to go, then we can, it's not wetting, is it?
No, it's probably not hot enough. I remember doing this, but I didn't do it on a piece of aluminum that's thick.
You want more heat?
No. Talk to the cat. I want to just play with this.
Okay, yeah, take your time. No, Dougster, that's not what you say. That's not what you say.
What's that?
Nothing. I'm not repeating it.
Now I want to know what's going
He
on.
said old guys rule.
Oh, I got a clock that says that.
Okay.
Old Guys Rule, that's the name of a company, isn't it? It's a clothing company?
Bruce says he had 1 week of welding training in A&P school back in 1978 and have never welded since. This isn't welding. This is like brazing or soldering almost because it's aluminum. And he said that since it's cast aluminum, it might not TIG properly.
Oh, yeah.
And he said it's not taken yet. Aluminum is a difficult material to work with. It really is. One-Eyed Cat says, okay, good. You know how it works. You only need to fuck it up once. Yeah, I know. Well, that's why we're using the scrap. Hopefully we don't use it all up. We only got a little bit. And it wasn't cheap. I think it was like $20 for 2 of these tiny rods that he's using. It's okay. If this won't work, we'll just use some JB Weld or who knows what. But you got to try, right? You live and you learn. If it starts to wet, I want to see it. So let me know if it does anything.
Yeah, I've never had this much trouble with this stuff.
This is part of the intake manifold for my Ford Bronco 2. It's a 1985, and I just changed the motor from a carbureted motor to a fuel-injected motor, but I want to put the carburetor on the new motor. And so there is no manifold that fits the new motor for a carburetor. It's only for fuel injection, so I have to make one. So I'm trying to cut up the old manifold and modify it so that I can make it, come up and have a carburetor, but it's aluminum and it's a difficult material to work with.
Tim, do we have a clean wire brush?
I do.
I need it.
Yes. Where do you want? Just brush it?
No, I won't.
Okay.
Stand back. Go
Okay.
away. Go over there. I'm gonna brush
Out of the
this way.
Just cooking off all the old oil. You. Gotta get it seasoned, like Tony
Gotta
said.
get it clean. I'm not sure this is gonna work out well. Where are you dancing?
Oh, that's for fun. Isn't that why most people don't? Oh, I just saw it wet out a little bit. It's going now.
Well, the thing is, this thing, aluminum, the heat transfers so quickly that I can't just heat one spot. The whole thing's sucking up a lot of heat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll be all nice and hot when you're done. Olive says, is there room to drill for some metal pegs if this doesn't work? They'd have to be really tiny. Prepaid super chat? I heart dancing? No, I'm just having fun. I'm in a good mood, so. Warm in here, though.
Well, it does flow, but man, it just takes a lot of heat.
Oh, yeah. Once it's on there, it's on there.
Well, it's a casting, so it's hard to get it clean enough. Don't stand there because I'm brushing that direction.
This one-eyed cat says he has it smoking. He does. It is. He's burning out the seasoning out of the manifold. It's got black all in it. So,
Old gasoline.
yeah. Summer is coming in a hurry. Yeah. Our corn is popping up. And I planted some tomatoes. Luis says, I love dancing in the old school back in the 2000s. Yeah. It's been preheated. Buck's approval rating is high on this job. Yeah. I didn't even know if it would stick. Aluminum has this thing where it won't stick to certain alloys and stuff like that. It's here. It's I'll show you what it is right here. It's Burns-O-Matic brazing and welding rod for aluminum. And it has like, I looked it up, right? Somebody did like a comparison of which ones work the best and which ones are, for cost and the amount that you get. You don't get a lot in the package. It's just 2 little rods for like $20. But since it melts at a lower temperature than most aluminums, you don't have to heat the aluminum all the way to melting point, but it sticks really good to it. So it's a special alloy that works.
Once I got it clean and got it hot enough, it flowed out. But it took a lot of heat.
Well, we expected that.
If the heat is transferring all the way back there.
Well, aluminum transfers heat really quickly.
Yeah. Oh, man. What's the temperature in here? The sweatshirt's got to come off.
72.
I wore the sweatshirt.
Dean Stevenson says TIG is the normal way, but it depends. Well, you were saying that TIG welding, you need gas that we don't have.
No, I have the gas. I have the TIG machine. We don't have 220. We'd have to wire the 220. Okay. And then you have to have somebody that's steady with this hand and this hand. It's fine work. And I'm, my left hand is weak and shaky. And it's easy to hold a torch, but to do TIG, it's like, you gotta
walk the cup.
And then TIG on a
piece of cast.
The other thing I could do, the guy that I'm just going to use our TIG machine. He's a real talented guy. He's likely to figure that out quickly. Yeah. Okay. So, the other thing I don't have is I don't have the tungstens for the aluminum. I'd have to go buy the tungstens.
Oh, you need special tungsten for aluminum.
Yeah, it's a different tungsten.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And instead of sharpening it to a point, you run the tungsten down and make melt it, make a little ball on the end.
Yeah.
And then, I've done it before. It's just, I'm not real good with aluminum with the TIG, and my left hand's all not steady. I'm really good with stainless on the tape. But those were many, many moons ago, and I'm not as steady as I used to be. Oh, man. I think it got really smoky in here. How do we get the smoke out of here? Did you notice how there's this cloud in here?
Yeah, you were making a lot of smoke, yeah.
Yeah, something smoked. I think we need to...
Oh, that's definitely stuck.
Oh, it's not coming off.
No.
No, it looks really good, but it's...
Oh, yeah, it's like filled with smoke.
Yeah, but that's a lot of heat. And it's going to take a whole lot of those sticks,
Well, no, because the part that we need to work on is small.
Well,
that's just a big
but you got 4 sides of 3 of them,
Yeah.
Oh, man, am I sweaty. Whew.
I'm going to take this out since we're going.
Dean says, argon's the shield. Yeah, because there's 2 different shields. We use argon with the TIG, and we use mixture, mixed gas with the for the steel. What's he say here?
Oh, good night, Luis.
Yeah, Luis is taking off.
Thanks for coming in.
Dean says stainless and titanium. Take off the clip on tie. Oh, titanium. I've never TIG'd titanium. I've done a lot of stainless. I've done a lot of chromoly. Stainless. I don't know. I was one of the few guys in the shop that were good with stainless. Carbon dioxide and argon. It's fine. Yeah, what's ours? Ours, there's some stuff called Stargon, which is a brand name, and it's carbon dioxide and argon, and it has a small percent of oxygen in it. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. But man, does it work well. I've MIG welded with that stuff, and man, does it work well. But right now we just have the 2. We have the I couldn't get any. And so we got a bottle of carbon dioxide and argon. Worked fine. What this Dean says? It's a DB Cooper reference. I'll tell you where the cache is later. What you doing, Kim? Oh.
I'm going to do the real thing now that we know it wets.
Oh, it's not enough.
What's not?
Not even close to enough material that we have here, enough rod. I mean, you might be able to tack it together, but
Well, let me see what I can do.
if you're going to try to do it, when you do it, what you're supposed to do is not melt the rod with the torch.
Okay.
You're supposed to melt. You're
Heat
supposed to heat and then rub the rod on the aluminum.
Right.
And it melts. Now, what I found on this was it made little blobs when I did that, and it didn't look like it was flowing. So I took the rod away and I heated it up so the rod was melting, and then but the surface wasn't clean enough. So I took the brush and brushed the shit out of it while it's hot. Oh man, it flowed then, you know. But yeah, it's.
Well, the heat might be pulling impurities out of this old aluminum. So.
Well, and it's cast, and castings are.
Can you guys still hear okay over the sound of this torch?
Yeah, she makes me nervous in the torch. What are you doing? I want to be away. I don't want that torch anywhere near me. I've been burning torches before. It's not fun. Okay, your rod is right here. Stick it out. Okay? So you can grab it. Thank you. If it's flat on the toolbox, it's really hard to grab. Yeah. Okay, back to this. Ray says you can't hear the torch at all. I'm going to be quiet for a second, see what the meter says. Yeah, very little bit of something. I don't know. I went back and watched the end of our video when last night, our live, when Kim was over there with that Sawzall going and going and going with the Sawzall. And I just wait, you know, and then I see something stuck in my shirt here. What the hell is that? So, when then I talked over her Sawzall sometimes, and it really sounded terrible. So I know it picks it up if I'm talking, but if I'm not talking, it cuts it out. But it doesn't sound good. The Sawzall and live don't go well together. that was my take on the whole thing. Andrew Button, the audio became muffled. Like right now when I'm talking, is it muffled or is it okay? Or does it just sound strange? You know, that's how shops are. They're noisy. Shops are just noisy. And I don't know. It's the way it is. How'd this get over here? Anybody know what this is? I know what it is. See what that is? Mexican spec says it sounds strange. Dean says titanium flex on my collar. Yeah, it doesn't sound right. That's because that torch is noisy. That is a noisy torch. Kim, this isn't good on the live. Here, Kim. Sounds like listening to Pink Floyd. Okay, I don't have to yell over the torch. That torch is really loud. I wish you could hear it. Did you try smearing any of that stuff on there?
Oh yeah.
What happened?
It wetted in and good.
Did it fill the gap?
Yeah.
You got it to fill the gap.
Yeah.
Mexican Spec says a plastic bag. What about a plastic bag? Yeah, it's better now. She turned the torch off. But she's going to light it again.
Can I play Aaron Shot?
Yeah, last night it was the Sawzall, and tonight it's the Torque. What's it going to be tomorrow night? 15-piece mariachi band. What do they call those, man? You asked what it was. It was a plastic bag. Inspector Bruce says the audio distortion is a small price to pay to watch the action. Okay. What was that, Kim?
He's cooking stuff. Don't worry about it.
All right.
Good time.
Now, why'd you bring these cupcakes in here? These I'm having a hard time not eating.
Chicken?
Why'd you bring these cupcakes in here? I'm having a hard time not eating them.
I'll get them out.
That was me that brought them in. I know what I'm missing. I'm missing a drink. Here's my... $500 milliliters. Water. And a little package of drink mix. Not a sponsor, but shit. Not a sponsor, but they're good.
I need a set of channel locks.
Well, you got them out.
Where are they?
You they were
No, channel locks. Big ones.
yeah, they were over
Vice
here.
grips.
Vice grips or channel locks. That's
Vice grips.
That's two different tools.
You're right. Sorry. I don't have to.
I don't know where you put them.
I got one. Can't argue over terminology right this second. Kind of busy.
You asked for channel locks and you're looking for vice grips. I'm looking for the wrong thing.
You're right. When you're right, you're right. And when you're down, you're down. And when you're only halfway up, you're up. You're down. Losing my heat. We're doing so good. Get it short.
Yeah, Mexican Spec says cupcakes are a ripoff. For the same volume, you get less cake as real cake.
Stuff up Campo.
You know why I do that?
Get it short of this.
Because I brought her a cake one time, and she couldn't finish it. It's too much. That was on St. Patrick's Day. Remember, I bought you a green cake.
Yeah, it was way too much cake.
She never finished it. Oh, Sean Cope's here. Hey, how you doing? That's cupcake. That's Cope cake. Yeah, John. See, I bought these for Kim, but the carbs are way too high for me, and sugar and all that. I can't eat that. But this has no sugar in it. This drink mix.
You didn't hear me, did you?
I don't know. No, what'd you say?
I want you to take a short of this. It's going so well.
Okay. Okay, I gotta take a short video. That didn't sound good. That's not flowing. A little bit. Oh, it is flowing. Tim calls this muggy weld. It's just like solder for aluminum or braze for aluminum. Now you got to stop down there.
It's okay. I just say that for now.
So
Yeah, it's coming
Just-
together.
just-
The hardest part is not getting the whole piece so hot that it doesn't melt off the other side.
So it is just, it is,
See, we're having a problem right now. I got a
because it's
spot.
going to melt out the other side. Yeah.
I
So
got
anyway, she's putting this together. It's part of an intake for her
aluminum.
2.9 V6
Bronco 2.
clone engine for a Bronco.
Okay, relighting. I need the other stick of well.
This other stick is really thin.
Oh, wait, I found it.
Yeah, don't waste the stuff, dude. Not much of it. The other stick is here. When you need it, okay? Oh, this is what I remember. This stuff is flat. Oh, this is like the stuff I had.
Is that different stuff?
Well, I think it's the same stuff. I think it's a different state. It's a little thicker piece, and it's a flat piece. It looks like silver solder. Looks like. If anybody to use silver solder, it's a flat stuff. What we got to add? Hope says we're all a bunch of freaking cupcakes. Oh man, pay attention. I was gonna take a swig of this.
Don't do that.
Don't drink the CRC Power Lube. Well, it's got
Power
a.
loop.
You know what the clue is? It's got a spray nozzle on it.
Where's the? I want to cool this off just a little.
Oh, let it just cool.
I want it to set.
Well, I'm not sure that's the right thing to do. I don't know what happens to aluminum when you cool it like that. Independent runners with independent gunners. Dean says Nissan Navara SUV ad. One-Eyed Cat Harbor Freight ad. Mama M3 Harbor Freight and Factor commercial. Dean Stevenson bedpost temper bedding ad. Wow, everybody there gets 2 points. You just give away 8 points. I gave away 8 of your points.
80 points.
8 of your points.
Okay.
Max Webb, Dick Dastardly says, I'm up north and my buddies.
Whew. 8675309.
8675309.
I said that.
Well, I said it too.
How many
I was
points
thinking,
do I get, John Coke? Do I get racing points that I can redeem for discounts on transmission
You know,
parts?
the weird thing about that song is they paused in the wrong place because it should have been 8675309, but that doesn't sound right in the song, so they had to say 8675309, which is kind of an odd way to dial. But you don't even dial anymore. You punch.
A friend of mine and I were going to try to hawk a bit of hippie jewelry to fund starting our beetle flipping business. Olive says they've been a wee bit of silver work. I was learning about silver work with my friend before I moved here, but we never really got around to getting to it. There were so many things.
How many of you done silver solder? I've done a lot of silver solder on brass, like brass radiator tanks. Really strong, really good. And I learned how to do it.
Cope Racing says we get free cake. Nice.
Straight well, look how clean the shop is. You wouldn't even recognize it. This place is a disaster area. I mean, we don't have a car in here, but
I mean, the floor. You can see floor in some places.
in some places we can see the floor.
The real thing is behind both of us is the machines back there, the metal bending and the metal shear. They need to be cleaned off completely.
We need to be able to get to them. We can't even get to them.
They need to be cleaned off completely so he can work.
See, there's a Studebaker hood there with all kinds of moving blankets and towels and stuff hung over it. And then there's just junk in the way. And like the shear, I can't even push the pedal down because there's junk underneath it. So all that's got to be straightened out.
Olive said silver wire and solder and stones were very cheap then, as were bugs and bug parts. Well, none of it is cheap anymore, I don't think.
Oh, here we go with Max.
Or maybe it is cheap. It's hard to say. Sometimes
we got flickerations over here.
You may say it's expensive now, but it might be the cheapest it's ever been, or cheapest it'll ever be. So it's hard to say what the future holds. The number is a great way to rickroll data miners, I guess. Stray Bullet, was that sarcasm? It's hard to know around here. Yeah. Kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will solder some aluminum.
Yeah, soldering. I was like master solderer. I bet I put together 10,000 radiators.
I think those two pieces are stuck together. Did you see?
Oh, they look like that. It looked like it flow. You know what? The raw casting's hard to get that stuff to flow on, but where you cut it, it's nice and smooth, and it adheres to that real well. Well, you know what happened? It soaked down in there like as if you were soldering, and it went between the pieces. I think it's going to hold real well as long as you got all the way around.
Olive says, last time I looked, metal stock of any kind just got ridiculous. Well,
yeah, everything did.
Gold is really high, but the silver to gold ratio is very wide. So silver is actually super cheap right now compared to gold, but materials costs have not moderated, even though the scrap prices of those same materials have bottomed out. Like the price of new steel, the gap between the scrap price of steel and the cost of buying processed, ready-to-use steel is super wide. It should moderate now that the price of scrap is way down. I don't know. It's hard to say. Tariffs could affect it.
Well, except I don't want to buy the aluminum sheet. I don't want to buy any imported aluminum sheet because it's terrible.
Even aluminum's gotten stupid in stores. What store do you buy aluminum at?
You want good deals on aluminum? Go to now I can't pull the name up.
Airplane Place.
Yeah, there's a place that sells rolls of aluminum. Oh, I can't think of the name.
Aircraft Spruce?
Well, Aircraft Spruce has it. And I can't think of the name. The place that has all they used to have an older woman and a big roll of aluminum standing there. Only she passed away years ago, but she was still in the ads a lot. I can find it. I'll have to find it. Yeah, well, I buy aluminum like in rolls.
Stray Bullet was being polite, see?
50 or 60 foot rolls or 100-foot rolls or something. And that's expensive, but then you just hope they pack it well on the ends, because if somebody throws it off a truck and dings one corner of the roll, the whole roll's ruined, So that place always packs stuff real well. I'm trying to think of what it is.
Dean says it seems like Agent 6373 has accomplished her mission. Perhaps. Let's see how it goes. You know what? Tomorrow night we won't stream. We might not even work in the shop.
We won't even be here tomorrow.
Because we have family obligations. And then Sunday, I'm picking up John Hart in the morning. You'll probably I don't know what vehicle he's taking, but I'm taking my Dart if I can get it running. I think I can.
Wix is another place to get aluminum.
Driving it into town for a little, like cars and coffee kind of thing. That'll be our first outing of the year with that car. Mexican Spec says, Dean, I can't believe after all this time, Kim is still reading your comments. Dean has been here. Dean's been here since way back. Way back. I can't forget about Dean. Bora Birkin says, rock on Pentacrossed Bros. I don't know what that means exactly.
This is it. Check with these people. Air parts. If you want some quantity, you see the kind of quantities you get there. And then
They all roll.
It comes, it's wrapped up. So when you open it up, it says on the instructions to give it a big hug before you cut the band around it. Because what'll happen. It'll be like a watch spring. The thing just opens up like this. But if you give it a big hug, you can kind of, and that's a lot right there. I get a roll that's maybe this thick of aluminum. You just kind of, you let it up kind of controlled. And you're never going to get it wound up that tight again. But you can usually get pretty good prices from them.
See, Dean explains himself. Agent 6373 is a cow from a Gary Larson Far Side cartoon. I know who Gary Larson, and I know the Far Side comic strip. In the cartoon, two cows are watching Chicago burn, and he says it seems like Agent 6373 has accomplished her mission. Mm-hmm.
See, Stray Bullet says, Wicks was one he was thinking about. Then he says, air parts. So maybe he remembers that. Yeah, air parts. I think that's where all these rolls came from, those air parts.
Mexican Spec says most of Dean's comments don't make sense. They don't make sense to you. They make sense to Dean, though. And sometimes he contributes something really good, right? So we appreciate it. And I try and work through it. It's good for my brain. It
a lot of times
me.
I don't understand what Dean says, but sometimes I just laugh because I get it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I get it.
And he's polite about it.
Oh, man.
He challenges it. There's people in the background who know exactly what he's saying sometimes, and other times we're all stumped. And that's okay, too. Hey, I know there's plenty of times people don't understand me.
How is that thing doing on temperature, you think?
It's cooling down. It burned up all the water, so I'll wet it down.
Dried the water out of the rags.
Yeah, but I mean, it's solid now. We can get a look at it soon.
Yeah, it'd be nice to be able to handle it and not just, go like a hot potato.
I didn't want to hit it too.
Give the hot potato thing.
It's still sizzling.
Oh, it's sizzling. Yeah, that's warm.
Yeah, you don't want to cool it off too fast though, because you'll get snap it.
It's okay. I don't have a 1,000 batting average.
Nobody does. Do you think we got most of the smoke out of here?
Yeah, we got most of the smoke out of here.
It's boy, that door's wide open. It's still 70 degrees.
Yeah. You can. Well, I think it was 68 outdoors when I came walking up here.
Oh yeah, I can feel it's colder.
It's a little cooler, but I mean, it's not a lot cooler.
No, it's not going to get frigid in here tonight. That's good.
It's because you wear your cap on a 17.5 degree wedge. Wait a minute. Is there might be a smart level on the side here? You can read it.
Why do they give you different size solder in that?
I don't know. It's like it's
different shapes.
You know what it is? It's like a variety pack. Here, try this kind of thing.
So
because I've never seen a pack that only has 2 rods in it.
I think. Well, this is premium stuff.
I look at Dean's post upside down, and they still don't make sense.
Well, maybe that's the problem in the first place.
Yeah, Dean, how do you walk? Do you have like some kind of sticky shit in your shoes?
You know what? It's the same.
It is the same?
I don't know.
No, I don't think it is.
It's not much, but for $10, I would gladly pay $10 for the right material to bond that, and I think that we have accomplished what needed to be accomplished. I'm gonna
see here.
It's still really hot, but
Mex's Spec, on a serious note, do you think you will come to No Name Nationals? And Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, after it says, me and Don was just talking about getting Dean to I don't know all what she said, but I'm gonna paraphrase it. Getting Dean to No Name Nationals this year.
All right. So this ain't perfect.
Dean says anti-gravitational walking shoes.
But so there's a big gob on this side, but if you look at the V,
it rolled down there hot, so it made a gob on the bottom. Look inside, Kim. How's it look from the inside? I think it looks like it flowed through from the inside.
Really? I'm gonna look.
Does it look like it came through or not? The penetration isn't real deep. but it's certainly strong enough to.
Yeah.
Well, there's
No.
let me. Okay, I'm gonna touch it right here.
Oh no, that's a scratch. It's a gouge.
Okay, well you can.
Still too hot?
I don't know. No, it's.
Oh, it's pretty hot still.
Pretty
I'm gonna
hot.
touch it.
But this, you can probably take a file and.
Oh
knock
yeah,
that
yeah,
off.
yeah.
Just, I mean, it's fine the way it is. It just looks like it.
I think it's stuck together.
The way you said muggy weld, it was like it was something beneath you. But you know, that's pretty nice stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've used that before in the radiator shop on other aluminum stuff that, you know, I wouldn't do it on a airplane wing spar or something, but on things that aren't critical.
I might file that down and then coat it with, like, build it up a little bit with JB weld, because there's look like there could be some pinholes.
I would.
That could be a pinhole.
Just, yeah, I don't know. It looks damn good.
But it's not gonna fall apart.
No.
It's not gonna fall apart. Or maybe I'll just smear some.
What I really like about that stuff, you can also use it on brass, and you can whatever you call that, aluminum braze a piece of brass to a piece of aluminum. It's amazing.
Yeah. Check it, right? So this was opposite. So we switched the curve 180 around so that it will the other two come
we did this.
Yeah. Yep. Here, I got the table. I can bring it over and show again, because not everybody was here. We did this really late the other night.
What is this? Oh, what is this? Anyway, Anagrip Mom M3. Wasn't someone going to start a GoFundMe for Dean? Oh.
See, it was like this, but now it'll be like that.
Well, and they were unevenly spaced, which didn't matter because it was just airflow and it had injectors. The injectors were in the port.
On backwards?
I hope not.
Man, if I did, I'm an idiot.
Looks like you did to me. Turn it back around. Turn around this way. No, turn around I'm trying to look at. Oh no, there's a seam on both sides. Hope you didn't put it on backwards.
Man, would I be dumb if I did that?
Then you'd have to take it back apart again.
Sure it fits. I'm gonna go out there and
take your thing out to your truck and see how it fits. And you watch.
If I come back here and
Super chats, we get 70%, I think, of super chats.
I'm gonna throw it in the trash if I did it wrong.
Don't throw it in the trash.
I'm gonna be so mad. Wasted $10 worth of muggy weld on something.
We really appreciate the super chats, but yes, YouTube gets some money for handling that.
Yeah, well.
And I think they get 30%. We get 70%.
Did you bring your flashlight over tonight?
Yeah, it's over there by the radio box.
I'm gonna borrow it. Oh no, I found it.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Tavo says, greetings, been fixing rain gutters. Not finished yet, so just a quick drop in to say hi. You missed all the muggy weld. We're muggy welding, which is like aluminum soldering. You ever use that aluminum solder stuff where you heat the aluminum up, you take the rod and kind of rub it on there, and it flows out like solder, only hotter. Okay, Dean says, I'm on a few international lives. Some super chats outside the U.S. get the hammer down on the donations. Mike N, hello. Hello. Yeah, 38. So super chats take 30%. That's no good either. Well, they're not going to do that for free. But yeah, 30 seems a little stiff, doesn't it? Ah, Kim!
Yeah, what's up?
You got a job to do.
Another one?
Tavo just gave us $5 super chat. So can you reach the clamp? Did you put it on right?
I did, yes.
Well, that's really good.
That's the wrong one.
Yeah, now you got it right.
Generosity. This is my dancing, pole dancing rig.
Yeah, I know some people that do the PayPal thing, and that's the best way to donate money to them because they just get all the money. Why don't we flash the headlights? They're burned out. Those are old headlights.
Check it out. It's stuck together and it's right. Yeah. Now all I got to do is make some kind of thing. Cut them all off at the right thing and make a plate. But I got to figure out the spacing. Oh, it's handleable. You can handle it.
Handleable. See, we get, where's Bruce? Bruce, you're an inspector.
Am I approved? Have I made the inspection?
Yeah, I think you're right. There's a.
It's a little porous.
There's a spot with maybe some porosity.
Well, the problem
two
was
little spots. I
had the whole thing so hot that it was dripping off of one side while I was sticking it on the other side.
It's like solder, yeah. Well, see, but look at this on the sides. How nice that is, right there.
Yeah.
Just
really
float in there like.
Came out good.
Oh man, did that come out good.
You won $950 on DraftKings. Congratulations, Max Wedge. Do not gamble. It's bad for you.
What's this?
But,
What's this?
Max Wedge, Dick Dastardly says, I got lucky tonight. I won $950 on DraftKings.
What's DraftKings?
Like an online gambling sort of thing. Wagering.
You can actually win money?
Yeah.
Yeah, Inspector Bruce says I need my 10 power.
But over what period of time? Like, if you average out your winnings versus losings, nah, don't do that. Only gamble for entertainment. It's not a financial.
Tavo says, you're talking about those silver sticks used with propane to weld aluminum, or even joins aluminum. Yeah, except we used acetylene. Kim has an acetylene torch that doesn't use oxygen. It just uses acetylene and air. And man, that thing worked really well. It's some kind of plumber's
It's called
tool.
a turbo torch, and it's a plumbing tool. It comes with this little tip, and then the big tip is a big tip.
Mike Kent says he needs his jeweler's monocle.
I'll show you the body of the turbo torch. See,
that thing worked really well.
Turbo torch.
Because it had to heat up all this mass.
I mean, it was a lot to ask of it.
But what are you doing?
I don't know. You're stuck to me for some reason.
I'm stuck to you? No, you
wound
a cord around me. A hose. Max wishes you can lose money too.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near broken.
Oh well.
Sir Bullet, that's not how you do gambling. Oh, says I only played the occasional lottery ticket in case the gods decide I might make more interesting.
Exactly, in case they're like, why don't you just play the lottery so you could win?
Tavo says I used to use those sticks back in the whatever it was, propane, air torch, shit to dump. Yeah, I've done it with propane. You know what works really well is propane and oxygen. I've got a propane and oxygen torch over here that works better than propane and air, but it's nowhere near as hot as acetylene. Man, that's good for a lot of things.
I think that if you tried to do that with a propane torch, you would grow old and pass on before it would ever get hot enough to work that rod.
Look at this. Mike Gunn says, I used to work in a casino. That was a depressing job. So many people had sad stories, patrons crying and all. You know what? There was a Indian casino real close to Yuma, Arizona. And I used to go in there, and they had a really good buffet. I come out of the buffet, and the buffet entrance is on the casino. So when you walk out, and I'd go over to, I had one favorite machine, and I'd go over there, and I'd put like a $20 bill in it. And I'd go, okay, that's all I'm going to do. If I won anything, I stopped. As soon as I was ahead, I'd stop. And if I was ahead $1, I stopped. But sometimes I was ahead $50. And as soon as I was ahead, I'm not spending another penny, and I'd walked out. And I usually walked out with more money than I walked in with. But you gotta stop as soon as you win. And I mean, when you win anything, you gotta stop. You know.
Max Wedge says, I'm in love with my plasma cutter. It's cheap to refill. Don't you just use compressed air? Andrew Button says, have you ever tried to weld with methane? Where would we get methane?
Out your back end?
No, we've never tried.
I don't know. You run a hose from yourself? Or?
No.
No.
So the buffet costs you $20 plus the cost of the buffet. Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, the buffets, you're going to eat whatever you eat. I mean, when I was out there, I was on per diem. I was living in a hotel. You're only going to eat hotel. What are you going to eat in a hotel? Bring something back and put it in the microwave. So, yeah, I'd go out to eat. And it didn't matter where I went out to eat. Actually, the buffet was a pretty damn good deal. And, yeah, if I went in the casino, it was rare I walked out of there with less money I walked in with. But the trick is, it doesn't matter what you win. Stop right then. Did I ever tell a story in here about my former wife when I took her in there?
In where?
That buffet with the casino. I told you the story. I know that. I walked in there. She's from another country. She'd never been in a casino before. So I took her in there and I handed her $1 and I showed her how it worked. It's a slot machine. So then I handed her a $20 bill. And she goes, no, too much money. And I said, no, just do it. It's fun. It's a game. Just have fun with it. I said, but if you win something, we split the money. I said, okay, well, so a couple of pulls. Man, she wins like $156, I think. And I said, that's it. Stop right there. Go cash it out. So she cashed it out. We're walking out of the place. She looks at me and she goes, this is how we're going to split it. She goes, here's your $20 back. So she got $130.
Smart woman.
Oh, yeah. Expect Circus had those 99-cent buffet. But to get back to the car, you had to walk through the whole casino. Man, I remember those 99-cent buffets. I remember walking along and they were just where you're online. There's just slot machines and slot machines. And then the one I used to go to, man, this is back in the 99-cent days. There was always a car there with a big slot machine right before you went in the buffet. And you win the car, And man, people would just be filling that machine with money. Nobody won that car. Well, I knew one guy that did win a car years later. But nobody on that line ever won that car. But that machine was full of money, What's this? Rowan Bertram, sacrificial anodes in HD.
I don't know what HD is, but sacrificial anodes. I think he's telling us how to make different gases.
Okay.
Max Wedge, I remember you were talking about your son shot himself in the leg. How's he doing? Is he doing any better physically? Like, is he recovering okay? I'm really sorry he's in trouble. Got himself into trouble. I hope that you guys can work through that. But I'm more concerned about his physical health if he's recovering. Yeah, that's a lot of money to win. That's almost dangerous to come into that much money all at once.
I got 2 friends shot themselves in the leg by mistake. One guy was a cop, and he and his cop buddies, are out drinking and shooting. There's a good combination. And he was keeping a handgun between his belt and his side, and he's trying to jam the gun in there, and kind of got the gun crooked in there, and it discharged, and the round went in somewhere in here and came out the back of his butt.
Iowa!
So
that's horrible.
They gave him a ride to the hospital. Stupid cop. So then, if you're drinking and shooting, that's just a bad combination. And then the other guy I knew was out hiking somewhere and accidentally discharged around. It went down, ricocheted off the ground, and came up and entered somewhere around his ankle, and then ended up near his groin somewhere. It went all the way up through his leg. And he was, same thing, he was hurting. He said his leg's fine. He said it didn't hardly hurt. Oh my God.
Now everything else just hurts. Probably prefer physical pain to the trouble that he's going through.
This girl says that Mexican Spec says the girl he always liked, redhead, got married to another guy and went to Vegas for the honeymoon. This is the first time she went to Vegas. Guess
She
he'll
played
continue.
a slot machine to win a car and she won the prize. But she only had 1 coin in the machine and not the 3 it needed. She won nothing.
Yeah, that's the one thing you gotta play all the there's all the directions. I don't know if you know slot machines. Yeah, you gotta to win the most, you gotta spend the most. And yeah, I learned that. Because you can win and you go, I won, except they didn't put enough money. I've done that.
Man. Trouble.
Stray Bullet says, I used to have pretty good luck at a certain lottery ticket machine in a truck stop. The only thing I've ever won on lottery tickets, I think I won. I had a girlfriend that liked lottery tickets. So every state I went in, I'd buy 2 lottery tickets. I'd bring her to her. And she just liked having them. But they were scratchers, Here comes the ads. So I'll wait to tell the story.
What do we want to do with the hood and the trunk lid from the Studebaker?
I don't know.
I don't either, but you said you needed to get them out of the way, and they're in the way.
Mama 3 says, I'm out, guys. Everyone enjoy your weekend. Yeah, you enjoy your weekend, too.
All right.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Colleen. It's good to see you here. Take it easy. Stay out of trouble. Fix some Mopars, Mustangs, or minivans. Get her done.
Host a Gator ad. Oh, and then he says something bad about it. Well, do you want your 2 points?
You can't have 2 points if you're going to talk mean about them.
Inspector Bruce says, ad for Manly Hyundai in Santa Rosa. Man, I haven't been, I don't even recognize that name because it's been so long since I've been up in that area of the world. Santa Rosa and what else is up there? Sebastopol and stuff. It's a pretty nice area. Mama M3 says AI video generator ads. When I got Township, that load corn. That's a big crash. That's the Studebaker hood. Who was it wants a Studebaker?
I think it's Straight Bullet or
Stray Bullet? Somebody wants a Studebaker.
Somebody's always saying they're collecting points for that Studebaker. Just telling us that.
Oh, Mike N says I was.
I know you don't want to give the Studebaker up.
Valley cars. I couldn't find the kill switch on his car. He got mad. Thought I was snooping through his belongings. Buddy Carfano, Ben and Jerry's ad. Tavo, no ad. Yeah, but you sent us the super chat, which is really cool.
Oh, this is the time of the night that if you are...
But there's a bunch of people here you haven't awarded them points, and they've gotten all
anyone who's calling out their advertisers gets the 2 points when they do it. Even if I don't see it and call it out. And right now, anybody who is a YouTube subscriber, so you're not getting any ads because you've already paid your dues so that you don't have to see any ads. We appreciate you, and I'm awarding you 3 points right now during the stream for that support. So,
how close is that hood to a 62 Valiant? The one she was carrying?
Nothing like
it's like a 61 Studebaker. Yeah, it's as close enough that it's kind of big and flat.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's
it goes over top of the motor.
It goes over top of the motor. That's how much it resembles the
That's it.
Yeah, Stray Bullet wants to know if Bruce lives in North Bay. I believe that's where he lives. I believe he was an aircraft inspector in San Francisco until he retired. Bruce and I knew each other 50 years ago in the Air Force, and then we kind of lost track of each other, and then we chat online like once every 10 years. And now he comes in here. It's pretty cool. Dean Stevenson says, very close. They were quite larkish. Well, I always thought the lark was kind of ugly, and I always thought the rotoads were pretty darn good looking, but I guess I'm not always, people aren't always in agreement with me. Oh, yeah, he says, yes, Sonoma County. See, Bruce and I met each other. I don't know, Bruce, did we know each other in basic training? You were in my sister flight. I even remember this flight number was 630. You were 633 and I was in 634.
Oh, that's
isn't that amazing? I can't remember shit from yesterday, but I can remember that. So
how do you remember stuff?
I don't know. I remember that. So I don't know if we really met there. I know he was in that flight because I used to see him. And then we were in school in Rantoul, Illinois, at the Air Force Base there, and that's when Bruce and I started hanging out together. And yeah, that's where we really got to know each other. He's a good guy. We really had fun.
We had 2 rooms in here.
And then we got shipped off to our permanent duty stations, and he got sent all over the place, and I got all sent to different places, What is this? Would a toad fly upside down for a lark? Mike N. I just watched Katie Waito compete on 411 at an Eastall event in Jennings, Louisiana. Eastall, which is short takeoff and landing. I don't know what E is. Maxwood says, I have a spare 64 hood with a max wedge scoop on it, if anybody's ever looking for one. You got it right, Buff. Don't apologize. Man, I've told the story before. The woman next door to us, there's people moved in next door to us, and they were only there. They weren't even there for a year. But they had some old car. I don't remember what it was. But it was a young couple, and it was 1960. She bought a Valiant, and he bought a 1960 Ranchero, the first year of the Falcon Ranchero. They were both brand new. And I was down there, downhill, like we were on a hill. So you're like downhill one house from us. I was a little kid. I was 6 years old down there looking at her Rotoad. And I was just loving that car, And she goes, get in, I'll take you for a ride. And she drove me around a couple of blocks and came in. I thought that was like the coolest car I ever saw. So I've liked them ever since that day. I was a 6-year-old kid riding a brand new one. Stray Bullet says, I'm in Lake County. God, where is Lake County in California? Lake County. I should know where that is. See, I was right next to Lake County in Ohio, and now I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Okay, let's see here. Tavo says, I prefer the look of the lark over the road toad. Yeah, there are some people that probably would. I know they're both okay. But I don't know. I guess maybe it was just my introduction to them. Man, I remember getting in the car. It smelled good. It was new. I remember the shifter. It had a 3-speed on the floor, and the shifter made like a big hoop and went down underneath the seat. And I didn't know where it went. I was a little kid. I look under there like, where does that go to? I didn't understand that it went through the floor under the seat, but I remember that she was shifting it, driving, brand new car. Inspector Bruce says, correct. Who was the guy that, I rubbed his wet fingers down his glasses? Big tall kid? A big tall guy with thick glasses? And he was in my flight. When we left, he'd been set back a week. Then he got set back another week. Got set back another week. When we left, he was only like in his second week of basic training. He was making a career out of basic training, if that's the guy I'm thinking of. Yeah, the TI used to call him Four Eyes. Hey, Four Eye.
That's mean.
Oh, that's the whole thing about basic training. They're mean to you. They say all kinds of stuff. They insult you. They just get used to it, you know.
Be mean to people
and that's part of it. Inspector Bruce says Clear Lake. Okay, I know where Clear Lake is. Next suspect says the 61 would be different at the rear than the 62. Which they're both similar. And Dean Stevenson's got a lot of specs there. One-eyed cat probably a lot better than our cars in the wind tunnel. Yeah, Mike says north of Santa Rosa. One-eyed cat toilet seat deck lid made that much difference. Man, I don't know. I just like that car. Mike N, not too far from Sacktown. They call it Sacktown now. Man, there was a guy on the radio in I'm trying to think of that guy's name. He was on back then KFRC. San Francisco was an AM, big boomer 50,000 watt AM station in San Francisco, and it was a top 40 station. Just covered the whole area there, and that was a station everybody listened to. If you're a young person, you listen to it. And he was a DJ there. This guy was I can't think of his name right now. He called it Sacramento, and he had names for all the towns around there. But I always remembered as Sacramento. Dean Stevenson, that .43 coefficient drag and 21.3048 frontal area. And I don't know about all those. Expect 61 had the taillights at the end of the fin. The 62 had the smoother bodywork. Yeah, 60 and 61 had the little like cat eyes in the back, and 62 had the round lights below the smoothed off fins. And I really like those little cat eye lights in the fins. I thought that looked really good. Cat Dean, I'm more curious about up around the 130 range. I'm not sure what that is. Roan Bertrand, 4. Oh, 4 eyes. Dean Stevenson, the narrower body saves a lot of drag. The sideways with no curvature help too. You know, the thing with the Studebaker was it was a full-size car, and they shortened the nose and they shortened the deck and they called it a compact. And they came out a year before all the other American compacts, and it worked. They saved themselves with that car. But then in 1960 and 61, all the other compacts came out, and then Studebaker had a hard time selling the Delarcs after that. Retired Inspector Bruce, man, he knows this. Kim, he's get points for this. Dr. Donald D. Rose. He put Dr. Don Rose. That's right. Dr. Donald D. Rose. Sadly, he passed away a few years ago. But he was the guy on the radio there and keep you laughing all morning.
How many points did he get?
I mean, nobody knows that except he just pulled that out of his memory. That was so long ago. Wolfman Jack. No, it was not Wolfman Jack. I used to listen to Wolfman Jack when I was a little kid because he was on XCRB in Tijuana, Mexico. He was on I think he was in the U.S., but the transmitter was in Mexico, XCRB. And I think at the time it was like 100,000 watts. It was amazing. You could hear it all the way up into Canada. And
Here.
That was, yeah, he was quite a guy too.
Here's a piece of Bondo. You love it so much.
Oh, this is part of the, see, this is part of one of the fenders. This is how they made the fenders out of on that car.
I don't know what to do with all this stuff.
This is one I kept. 4 eyes are better than 2. Oh, you're talking about the Studebaker with 2 eyes. You know, in 61, those Larks up there, that was a cheap one. And one of the options was you could have quad headlights in 61. 62 and later, they all had quad headlights. So some road toads I like, but they can easily look wonky depending on the particulars and color and trim choices, stance and all. Yeah, I just, when I got 63, the Valiants got ugly. Yeah, 63 was not my favorite. And my favorite Valiant, by far, the 60 and 61. I mean, I liked 60 because it didn't even say Plymouth on it. It said Valiant. What did Tavo say that's confusing? Our 61s were made in 62. Our 62s were made in 62 in the first 2 months of 63. Yeah, it was. You had some other weird ones too. Like I saw a 59 Ford. I think it was a 59 Ford in Australia. And it looked like our 56 Ford. What the hell was going on there? Straight bullet. I missed Dr. Wattenberg on KGO. See, I didn't ever listen to that. Yeah, okay, Tavo, that's why we give them model letter designations instead of. Yeah, you guys talk all those model letter designations, and I'm really confused by it because we never did anything like that here, except more recently Lincoln with the MKX and the MKZ and MK, all this nonsense. We were so used to names here.
Start talking like that, you sound like Hoobie. MK this, MK that. Hey, Raw Dog, welcome to the stream.
Oh, Raw Dog came. Oh, he's down there at the bottom. I haven't got to the bottom of the chat yet.
There's still people hanging out. Are you guys having a good time?
I don't know. I think so. Yeah, a lot of people left. It's probably getting
going
late.
For what?
Yeah.
2 hours. Has it been 2 hours, or is it 2.5?
I don't know. You came on.
Almost 2 hours.
What time did you come on? Yeah, it's probably been almost 2 hours.
It's gonna be time.
Because I came rolling in here. You already gone. Gene Stevenson says the B200 series cars were well designed in terms of aerodynamics. That's luck. Back then, that was luck.
That was not luck.
That was 63 Australian Valiants look sleek and smooth. Raw Dog, low to the ground rat rods are cool with big tires in the back and little tires in the front. Mexican Spec, I am not yawning. You are yawning.
You're yawning.
Cousin Brucey. Oh, yeah, there was Cousin Brucey. Isn't he still on some nighttime satellite radio or something? Like Sirius XM or something? I thought V100, V200 was interior package. You're not talking about our Chrysler Royal, the 54 body with 56 fit. No, I think it was a 56 Ford. It looked like our 56 Ford, and I thought it said 59 Ford on it. I thought that's what I saw one time. I always remembered that because it seemed like the years were not aligned properly. Oh, says, I prefer they name vehicles something. Chassis designations can make more sense than remembering what year it was like doing the U.S. Well, see, like Mercedes, man, the Europeans have all these, like, Mercedes W numbers, and then they name cars with the kind of the size of the engine in liters and kind of a series. I don't know. It's like you get a European talking to you, and they go, "What? You know, you're Lincoln. What's the equivalent of your 3 Series?" I don't know. We don't do that here. Max Wedge says most people never heard of a Plymouth Savoy. I tell them I have a Belvedere without the chrome. Yeah, there was a Savoy, Belvedere, and then a Fury. And back in the day, they were the same car, but they were upgraded packages, trim packages. It cost more. Yeah, I remember the Savoys real well. But cousin Brucey used to be on Sirius Radio doing 60s on 6 and sometimes 50s on 5. Okay, see, and I used to have Sirius XM, but I got tired of paying for it, and I just I listened to it. I'd get on the road, and I like the talk radio, but I don't like the politics. So I'd get on there, and it just got more and more and more political, just like 24 hours of arguing all the time. Well, I don't want to listen to that. So I just finally quit paying for it.
Give up. Gave up.
Well, I guess if people want to listen to people argue 24 hours a day, yeah, okay, pay for it.
Yeah.
Pay for it, but not me.
Well, it's pay so they can deliver you some propaganda.
Well, yeah, but it's both sides. It's just like
Opinion.
I can listen to people argue. All I got to do is piss them off.
Yeah, all you do is talk.
I get that for free. Most aerodynamicists use cotton wool and video traces. This is beam. The front and rear lift coefficients can be calculated using Mazda or Lexus suspension strain gauge. Probably strain gauge? Strain gauge, yeah. What we used to do is tough the airplanes, and you go up with a chase plane, and you fly around. You look down here, and from here you fly all around, get videos and everything, and you can see where the air's flowing, and what it is little tufts of yarn. So you lay yarn across everything, tape it all on there, and then go snip all the yarn. And then when you fly, you can see what's messed up. Oh, it says I would love satellite radio for the music if I spent more time driving. There's music channels for everything. Yeah, and I used to listen to that 50s 5 and the 60s 6. I used to listen to that sometimes, but man, at night, most of the time when I was listening to that stuff, I was driving all night, and I just got tired of it.
You don't drive all night anymore.
No, I don't. I used to be on the road a lot. I'd be trying to.
Now you're home because you're a professional entertainer.
I try to push 1,800 miles like in one day, that kind of shit, Yeah, I used to like Howard Stern, then it became political. Yeah, of course.
Well.
Dean Stevenson, when you know the average ride height at a given speed, you could then calculate lift changes with speed. Okay. Just takes Type 5 digital gauge to read the figures. Man, we used to use strain gauges for all kinds of stuff, but never for that. Tavo says, I understand the 70s Volvo models, 144 series, 4-cylinder, 4-door, 265, 2-cylinder, 6-cylinder wagon, 5 doors was simple. Yeah, the Volvo models just, I get lost, but I know what they are sometimes. Mexican Spec Coca-Cola ad. Hey, Mexican Coke ad. You get 2 points.
Nice Coke ads. Now we're big Coca-Cola.
Olive says, yeah, my wagon is badge 940, but in Volvo cult, we call them 945S. Mexican Spec, Buddy Carfano. That wasn't a Savoy, was it? Hey, Mexican Spec, what are your 63 Plymouths? Are those Savoys or are they Belvedere? What are they? I've seen them, but it's been a long time since I've seen them. Dean Stevenson, GM started the misinformation. 326 being a 336. Yeah, I know all that stuff. Space Cat. SoCal had the mighty 690. We could hear it all the way up to Santa Barbara. Oh man, so you were in Santa Barbara. See, when I was in San Luis Obispo, so everything in Santa Barbara was hard to get. Now the KUYT, the TV station there, Channel 3, they had their transmitter up on that hill, on that mountaintop. And so we could get that in San Luis Obispo, but none of the radio stuff. I don't know, we might be able to hear it. See, I hear it all the way up to Santa Barbara Space Cat. I listen to KFI 640 at night, all the way up to Oregon. Well, at night, I used to listen to all the 50,000 watt stations from all over the country. And they used to call them clear channels because they were clear channels. But now the clear channels are still 50,000 watts, but they got more than one channel on them. They're more than one station, so it's not. Yeah.
Stray Bullet thinks we blocked his ads because he was getting too many points. Maybe.
Well, we can't block your ads.
It's all a conspiracy, and it's against you, Stray Bullet. No, we wouldn't do that.
Dean Stevenson, then Mercedes.
That's because you're not in Mexico, Stray Bullet. That's why they're not advertising Mexican Coca-Cola to you.
See, Dean Stevenson, Mercedes-Benz continued with the 6.9 liter 450 SEO. Man, one time I was in my Ford, my 64 Ford to the 351, and that thing, I could bury the speedometer pretty hard, probably going 133, something like that. And I was doing that. I had this Mercedes coming up behind me. So I started getting on, and I was up to 100, and he's still pulling on me. So I'm in it all the way, and I get up to the speedometer's up past 120. It's up where about 130 would be. And that Mercedes just went by me, and it said 6.9 on the back. And I said, what the hell is that thing? That guy had no problem just going by me. Nothing passed me in that car. That thing just did. Buddy Carfano just checked it was a Belvedere. I think Kim about blocked my ads. Okay.
We didn't. We didn't do it.
Mexican spec. My U.S. spec is a Fury Commando 361. Okay. Sedan. And the Mexican car is a Savoy Slant 6. Oh, okay. Because I knew you had a Slant 6. Okay, so that's a Mexican one. Huh. They are next to each other now, but one speaks English and the other speaks Spanish. They're out there talking like this. Man, a 63 Plymouth front end, it looked good up there with the lights blinking, those big fender tip turn signals. I like those.
Oh, thank you. I sneezed. Oh, should we cut the front of the Spitfire off? Hang it as well?
Oh, I don't know.
Be like hanging deer heads up there.
Yeah. We could have antlers on them, and like people put deer heads up there. Yeah, we could have cars with antlers. They look like they're ranch owners in Texas where they put the longhorn.
Yeah.
On the front of their car. See a Cadillac going down the highway with big old horns on the front of it. That always looks silly to me. Let's see here. That depends on what you ask for. Let's see. Talk about Plymouths were confusing down here until 56. We had Savoy and Cranbrook. After 56, that body became Chrysler Royal or Royale. I don't know which it is. But 57 through 59, we also built CKD, imported Belvederes in very small numbers. Mrs. One-Eyed Cat, bless you, Kim. What's that for? Oh, the sneeze?
I sneezed.
When is Tony Stewart going to run out of money?
Never. You're just going to keep winning and racing.
Dean Stevens, I just love the CA sense of humor he has. I don't know what all. Oh, I'm trying to scan down all this chat. Let's see here. Back in the day, all the Mexican border radio stations were broadcast 150,000 watts. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought they were 100,000. Yeah, because they were way more than the 50,000 that we could have in the U.S.
Boy, there's a bunch of people here. I was going to try and wrap it up, but there's a bunch of people
No,
watching.
I don't want to wrap it up right now.
You don't want to wrap it up? Are your feet warm enough?
My feet are warming up, but my legs, no, my arms. These are arms. These are arms. They're getting.
You have a sweatshirt.
I have a sweatshirt.
on.
I may put the sweatshirt.
Take a break for a second, and I'll read you a couple comments while you put your
then
sweatshirt
Paolo
on.
says, then 65 through 71, we got the Plymouth Fury, but called it a Dodge Phoenix. And that was a name Chrysler used on Dodges here in the early 60s. And then later, Pontiac used it. Is it crazy?
The Phoenix, yeah. I remember that. I remember the Pontiac. I don't ever remember a Dodge Phoenix.
Dodge Phoenix was like early 60s. Yeah.
Mexican Spec says, the signal skipped pretty well at night. Talk radio kept me awake on the road many times. Rush Limbaugh did not like Clinton with good reason. Well, yeah.
Okay, well, we don't want to get into who likes who.
Well,
but you can say you listen to him. That's fine.
Yeah, and Rush Limbaugh definitely did not like Clinton. that I'm sure he said everything bad he could scrape up because
Oh,
that was his job.
I used to listen to Rush sometimes, and I remember what the hell happened. And he 100% agreed with Clinton. And I'm trying to remember what it was. It really surprised me because he came out really strongly in favor of something Clinton did.
If anybody has their keyboard and Google easy to access, could you look up the width, the track width, just the overall width of my Subaru? It is a 99.
The tread width? The tread width. Or track width, I guess.
The outside width, the overall dimensional width of my Subaru. It's a 99 Subaru.
The width of the body or width of the tires?
The width, the outside of the body. Of
okay, that's different than tread width. Track width. Okay.
Because we may have to do something. If somebody can do that, I'll award you some points. Max Wedge says my 71 RT has 410 gears in the wrong speedometer gear. I let everyone think we're going faster than 150 when it would bury the speedometer.
I've been in cars like that.
As if they were not afraid enough. Mexican Spec said we had triplets, basically the same car, slight trim difference. The Plymouth Savoy, Cranbrook, Dodge Kingsway, and DeSoto Diplomat.
Tavo said that. Okay.
Max put a Metris Speedo in it and watched their eyes fly open at 200 kilometers per hour. Yeah, that would frighten people. Not unlike the Plymouth Duster and Dodge Demon, where you grafted another front in an old back. Chrysler Australia refused to integrate the F-body into the CL and CM. Rush was drooling on...
okay, we're not going to skip that. Oh.
So Australia missed out on the F&M cars. I like the Diplomat. The Diplomat wasn't a terrible... I don't know. My experience with the Diplomat was not terrible, but I wasn't like a big fan of the overall design. It was a very boxy platform. Go ahead. I'm done reading for a minute.
My RT handled so bad it felt like you were going 150. Yeah, Max, don't talk about U.S. politicians from 3 decades ago. You know, if you want to talk about a politician in the U.S. about what car they drove or something, that's fine. You want to talk about some policy that's going to get everybody arguing? No, we're not going to talk about that.
67 and a half. Man.
What's this? Where's this? Oh, 99 Subaru track width. Well, that's the width of the tires.
Yeah, 67 and a half. The Spitfire is only 59, I think.
Oh,
it's a lot.
Space Cat says, yes, that 6.9 Mercedes wasn't quick, but it was fast. Buddy had one. You know, it would do 140 at least. Yeah, my car, probably about 133 is what that top out, foot to the floor on that 64 Ford I had. And that guy just went by me probably 8 to 10 miles an hour faster than me.
Dean, I'm awarding you 4 points for the answer. All of them giving you 2 for following up with the answer. Appreciate it. Thank you. I in my mind, I am planning projects that we have not even begun.
Roddock says, got a credit union ad. What credit union? You gotta say who. That could be any credit union. What credit union was it?
Yeah, you're supposed to. But you still get. No,
you get points.
I'm giving you 2 points, but Raw Dog, you got to give me like a brand name, like
we
the
wanna,
actual
we wanna
name.
Know, we want to know who's supporting us.
Retired Bruce gets got Sonic Fiber Optic Internet. You get your 2 points. Dean says Olive gets my points. All right, Olive, you get.
Who says
you
this?
Get 6 whole points there.
Oh, Dean. Dean gives away his points. Are they allowed to
Dean.
I guess
That's very generous of you. I'll allow it. Move over here. You are out of the picture.
Out of the picture?
Yeah, you're way over there like you're don't even want to be part of the party.
Okay, Olive says track width is slightly narrow, 67 and change. Skosh narrower in the rear. Overall width is 68. Most of the wheels are like almost out the edges. I guess they are.
They are, yeah. They're round wheel wells.
Mexican Spec. I just got an AutoZone ad, but they aren't worth mentioning.
Yeah.
No, well, if they're helping to pay the bills.
They're just not doing classic. I guess they're getting out of classic cars.
Tavo, then the 61 Road Toad was 90% imported. CKD. What does CKD stand for? Kit. A breakdown kit of some sort. Stray Bullet says, like pirates. Like pirates. Like pirates. Like pirate radio? Dean has a scheme for this, but I'll keep track of my own. We can pull them later. Dean, I was total FM and J car fan. Those cars should have been like Monteverde Sierras. Oh God, Monteverde. I'm trying to remember what that thing was.
The FM and J cars, they were softer, like they had extra bushings in the suspension, bigger, longer leaf springs in the back, heavy. They were heavy material. It was thick steel and the whole thing.
He said CKD, and I said like a knockdown kit, except it's complete knockdown. Okay, so I didn't know what CKD was, but that makes sense. Yeah, complete knockdown.
So you could put a great big powerful motor in one of those cars, but they mostly just came with a 318. And being such a heavy car, I mean, it gave it a nice ride like you would want from like a midsize sedan.
Which is this? The J body? The Chrysler J body?
The FM and J body car.
Well, the J body's what Dr. Go has?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is it Murata?
Well, the Murata's the Dodge, and his is the
Aspen,
Chrysler.
Diplomat, Murata, Fifth Avenue, they were all in the M&J body platform.
I know what the J is because it's kind of lower and wider looking, but underneath it might be all the same.
I don't know. I don't know exactly, but the ones that I've seen, and I've been under several, there's extra bushings between the K-frame and the unibody, and there's bigger, thicker bushings between the spring pack and the axles to make it quieter and smoother ride. And they were big, sort of boaty, sort of. When they were new, they were very comfortable cars, and they used them for cop cars. And if you had like the cop Interceptor engine in it, they were well powered. But just a stock 318, they were a little bit like.
Well, I rode down the drag strip in Dr. Go's J with the 318 in it. And I don't remember what the time was. It wasn't very good.
It wasn't turning any heads, yeah.
Yeah, it was a comfortable car to ride in.
Yeah.
And we were at the end of the 8th mile, we were going 59 miles an hour. So yeah, it's not real quick.
Well, the other thing
it was acceptable on the street.
The other thing they did to those cars, which made people really anybody performance oriented, very unenthusiastic about them, is they put like a, I don't know, 230 gear in the rear end for mileage.
That doesn't help.
So from stoplight,
at some point, that ring gear's getting really small. How does it work? Yeah.
Like you're just like taking a nap from 0 to 60 because it is just really, really. But if you got like a 373 in the rear end, all of a sudden that car wakes up. But those rear ends, they weren't around. It was a different rear end. Like the perches were wrong. So it wasn't like you could just go swap one out from the junkyard or something like that. You had to make something, and people don't do that. Except hot rodders. And a hot rodder, there was way cooler cars to hot rod than an FJM body car. So those cars really got a bit forgotten. They just, nobody bothered with them. But you can make one really
I'd like to see Dr. Go build an engine for his car, a good running small block, and replace the 318 that's in there. I don't know if you ever want to do that, but he could make that thing a pretty good running car. It's such a nice car, And if you ever seen Dr. Go's car, it's in a few shots around on our videos, No Name Nationals. It's a bright red J body. What is that thing called? It's a Chrysler LS. Like we need more LSs. I think it's a Chrysler LS. It's a really nice looking car. And his car you know, it's 40 something years old. I got in that thing, and he's kept that thing. He bought it new, and it still it looks like a year-old car that's been well taken care of. You know, it's amazing.
Raw Dog is watching the NFL draft.
I gotta.
Interesting. I don't watch NFL draft. I know it's a thing though. People are interested in.
I'm gonna turn my sound off.
Are you?
Well, I'm waiting for a phone call, but nobody's gonna call me this late. The guy that has that car that we want to go get.
Yeah.
Trying to. Man, these people on Marketplace trying to get in contact and arrange a time to meet, and it's like the communication gets tough. What you doing, Kim?
Nothing.
You're like going through a menu over there about to change
Quiet.
something.
It's okay.
What are you doing? You make me nervous when you start
No,
changing shit.
It's fine.
Yeah, it should be a Chrysler 300, but it's more than a 300. It's I think it's a 300 LS Mexican spec. Does that sound right? It's the one that has a really good looking grill. It has the crosshair grill with that logo in the middle. Eat raw. Yeah, Mexican spec says, now you know my help buff dealing with the sellers. You know, there's a guy that has a door, a stupid door for my car that's got glass in it. And it took me 3 weeks to confirm that he really still had the door. He hadn't sold it. He wasn't sure if he'd sold it. And finally, he decided that he still had it. And then does it have the glass in it? And finally, after another week, he goes, sorry, it has the glass. I go, no, I need the glass. Don't say sorry. Okay, now I want to connect up with him. Well, he still hasn't replied. It's like, you know, he lives up in the Chicago area. I do not want to drive. For us, that's, 400 or 500 miles. I don't want to drive up there to get a door and then I can't find the guy, you know? So, I don't know what Kim's doing. She's doing something. I'm afraid you're going to punch us out. What are you doing? Are you messing with the colors? Okay, Mexican spec says LS is a trim package, so it's a 300. Okay, that's what it is. It's a 300 LS, I guess. I sold some stuff on Facebook Marketplace when I moved. Never again. There were some wacky people out there. You know, I've had good luck with some, like that car I bought, that Zephyr, the Zed sled. See, Dean, I did say Zed. Zed sled. That guy was real good communication. Everything was real good with that guy. We made agreement to meet at a certain time. He told me where to meet him. It was actually at his house. Went there. There he was. It went like clockwork, you know. But I've had other ones that are flakes, you know, sadly. And I'm trying to buy something from him. It's like, hey, don't you want some money? You went to all the trouble to advertise this. Don't you want the money? You know? Yeah. Oh, says, I still wonder if we know anybody in or near Chicagoland. Oh, that would be John Cope. John Cope's near there. So is oh, you're changing our color. You're trying to make it better. I see what you're doing because I can see it happening. Ooh, now I'm really red. Kim's messing with color balances. Oh. I look like, oh, no, you fixed that. Oh, that's too washed out. Okay, I'm not going to say anything. She's messing with it. So, John Cope and what's his name? Can't pull the name up. You know, have no fear. The Dougster's here. Dougster's kind of close to there. Kim, you made me really red.
Really?
Yeah, what are you doing?
You think you're red?
Well, I guess you put me next to a fire extinguisher. I'm not that red, but you put me next to...
We look better.
You put me next to some white and I look red.
We were all washed out before. Does anybody think we look better?
Do we look better? Yeah, Kim looks better.
Let's see.
Yeah, we probably do look better. Well, and the Studebaker definitely looks better.
Yeah, there's a little more color to everything.
Hey, look at the brake. It
More
looks like
vibrant.
it looks like it's really its color.
It's
Well,
blue.
you made it better, I guess.
There you go. He doesn't like it, but
Mike's comment.
I mean, you are red. Sorry.
Facebook neighborhood. But on their side, look at my comment. They might be fed up with crazy people. Yeah, that's possible too. But you know, oh yeah, I appreciate that. Buying on Facebook is my business. Dean Stevens says we both look sensational.
Sensational. Like
Yeah,
I'm looking at like
your hair
real
looks
comparison.
much more the true color on there now.
Right. It's a little more vibrant, but I think it's good. I think we looked all washed out before. That's why I even started. Look, you can even see that my glasses are sort of pink. Before you couldn't even.
See, I don't want to volunteer anyone else, but if a local car person can collect the door, they might be easier to link up with. Well, I mean, I guess I could ask John Cole, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the
John
guy's
Cope's time is
busy,
worth a lot
busy
of money.
anyway. I'm not going to ask him to drive out 50, 60 miles and try to hook up with some flake,
Some flake, yeah.
some guy that you can't communicate with.
I really don't think it's worth driving up there. We would be better off at some point just to buy the glass at the sort of exorbitant price of new.
I want to go
run halfway across the country.
I want to go get that car.
Oh, you know what? I saw another car, parts car, for sale, $1,200, but it's only 3.5 hours away, not 5.5 hours away.
Where is it?
It is in Mississippi.
Okay, show me where it is, or send me the link or something.
I saved it on Facebook Marketplace.
Okay,
so
I'll
find it and poke it out for you so that you could find it. Yeah, so I did find another one, but it doesn't have a lot of details. There's a guy who just lists like 5 cars and one picture per car.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't say if it has a title. It doesn't say if it has an engine, but it's a complete car and there's obviously all the glass in it. So it's interesting. It's obviously the right body style as well.
What is this? Dean Stevenson. Cows, Mexispec. It's always the cows. They get blamed for everything. We have neighbors that are cows. They're pretty nice.
Not anymore. We haven't seen the cows.
No, I know. You know, somebody sold that property. You know, I used to go out there. The cows would be out there. And I'd hear them. Moo. So I'd get out on the porch and go, moo. The cows would all be eating grass. And I go, moo. And they'd all look up at me. They go, look. And then they start going back to eating. And then I moo again, and they all look. Probably shouldn't mess with the cows. Don't believe Dean.
Olive says, admittedly, the gas probably will get it close to what you'd pay for new glass anyways. The time, the risk of just life and limb being out on the highway. Although, you know what? the Jeep is a very confident to drive vehicle. I feel safe driving the Jeep on the because the door would fit in the Jeep. So I feel safe driving it on the highway going a long way.
That is rude to call your female neighbors cows, Buff.
No.
They're
have
just
nice neighbors. We don't talk bad about them.
Yeah, they actually were cows over there. It's like 100 acres with cows walking around eating the grass. They were grass-fed cows.
Why are you jerking like that?
Who?
The camera. All right, I'm gonna blow in the camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to take it apart and put like an aluminum heatsink in there, just like I did on the.
Yeah, like you did on that other camera. She put aluminum heat sinks on a camera.
To make it so that we could do the thing.
So, yeah, I don't want to drive all the way up there and then can't find the guy. But the other car is a pretty.
We've got a lead on another parts car.
The other car is really a decent car. It's missing an engine.
Yeah.
But that's it, and the interior's all trashed out.
But the thing is it's like it's not anything more than what we have. It's just a window and then a bunch of parts that we already kind of have.
But as soon as I have another broken window or another part I need, and it's got a taillight.
It can pay for itself pretty quickly. I'm not against it. I'm just against it. You know, I'm skeptical. It's not off the table. I'm just.
This is Kevin Smith. Dean hangs with me after sign off.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Smith, where are you? This Kevin Smith guy is a true Ferrari. Cow worker instead of co-worker. I see. It's co-worker instead of put the space in the wrong place. Kevin Smith. Hi y'all. Max inspect, does that car have factory air? One of them does. Yeah, I know. That's another thing. I could pull the heater box for Lester LeSabre.
Which we would love to do if we get the opportunity to, but we cannot structure all our purchasing around parts that, like, we don't even know how we get them to him.
So
I don't know. Maybe he can find a parts car and we can just have the glass.
Yeah, but he has a box top, so we're buying a coupe.
He has a box. Do the dashes interchange?
Yeah, it's from the here up, and the back is all different. From the firewall back is all different. Olive says here, recently just had a neighbor with chickens. They sometimes be in my yard, but not get further. I didn't mind them, but I was practicing my rusty Spanish to let the lady know. Oh, so maybe she speaks Spanish. Oh, God, a Corvair unsafe at any speed?
Hey, isn't that a book, or is that a movie or something?
Yeah, it wasn't. It was actually unsafe at any speed, but there was a lot in there about the Corvair. I mean, the Volkswagen Beetle is much worse car for rollovers than the Corvair was. But he really went after the Corvair. Yugos. A Yugo. Again, I sold a guy a home stereo receiver, a CD 5-disc changer, 2 bookshelf JBL speakers. Guy shows up, a freaking moped. What? It was funny watching him drive off, balancing everything. Was he from the Philippines? You see stuff like that in the Philippines. You'll see 3 or 4 people on a moped with a sheep. And a couple of chickens.
With a sheep?
Yeah, I mean.
That's crazy.
Andrew Button, but if you roll the Beetle, they were egg-shaped and very good as far as not collapsing. Yeah, they keep going and back up on their wheels again. Man, I almost rolled a Volkswagen Beetle one time. The only thing that saved me is I understood the suspension. I knew what was happening. As soon as I felt it, I went the other way, and it put it right back on the ground. It's like, ooh, that was close.
I have never rolled a Beetle.
Oh, man, I haven't either.
Really glad about that.
Yeah, it was Ralph Nader's book.
There you go. How do I know the name Ralph Nader?
He was an attorney that wrote books and consumer advocate and later politician. I don't think he ever won any elections. Maybe he did. He ran for president at one time.
That's probably how I remember.
But he was he was a consumer advocate kind of guy.
Advocate kind of guy. Interesting.
Dean Stevenson. Actually, I love Ralph, and let's don't. We all have a work to do. Like Magoo's spec. Let's see. Kevin Smith as eyeballs. You see, America started thinking about cause and effect. Again, this is Metro Atlanta. He reminded me. I'm the Philippines guy. Oh, okay. Andrew Button, have you ever had a VW bus? No. But I'd like to. Oh, Ralph Nader's still alive. Yeah, he probably is. But he's be up there now. because he's quite a bit older than me. And I'm 71. The Asians haul saw logs out of the forest with motorcycles. And it's Philippines. A friend of mine was in the Philippines, and he rode on some bus out some dirt road somewhere to some other little village. And he says he got on the bus, and he goes, there's a guy riding on top of the bus. And he knew where everybody was sitting. And he'd go around on the bus, and he'd lean over the bus and get the money from everybody in the window. And he knew where everybody was sitting. And he'd come around, collect your money. And he goes, that guy rode around on top of the bus. I mean, yeah, you see some strange stuff. It's normal there. Yeah, he's 90. Okay, yeah, he's 19 years older than I am. Herb Alpert is 90, still touring. Is that amazing?
You get 2 points for finding out that Ralph Nader is 90.
Nader unfortunately went mad with grief after getting Dundee elected. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want, whatever. Was he a third-party candidate then, and that's what happened? That could have been what happened. Yeah, that's what happened with, what was his name?
Ross Perot.
Ross Perot, yeah.
Always comes back to Ross Perot.
Ross Perot really,
Ross Perot.
that really.
Bernie Sanders of the day, wasn't he not?
Nah, not really. He was that's giant sucking sound. He was against NAFTA.
Yeah.
Giant sucking sound, and he might have been right.
In some ways, he was.
So, but you're allowed to have third-party candidates here, and it's you go back in our history, back to it's the only time this happened in U.S. history was there were 4 people running for president when John Quincy Adams was elected, but he didn't get and they all got about 25%. I don't remember what it was. Some of the 4 had 24%, 25%, 26%, something like that. So instead of going to the Electoral College, it went to the House of Representatives, and there they made deals. So the president was decided with a bunch of backroom deals, and that's how John Quincy Adams became president. And he was hated by a lot of people because he only had 25% of the vote. And so he was a single-term president. But it's just, and I don't know what all the issues were then, but that's what happened. And it's kind of interesting. 4 people run for president. They all get about 25%. Kind of change. Kind of strange. Dean Stevenson, I'm okay with unsafe people. It's the bad ones going nice that I like even more. Okay, Raw Dog, in Egypt they have cats roaming around, tons and tons of cats and dogs, and all were taken care of, but the stray cats and what? Dean Stevenson, I toot his own horn if I was her. Oh, I get it. Next expect, I can't see Ross Perot in the White House. That screeching voice would have gotten on people's nerves. I don't know what Kim's doing over there. You can sure see her blonde hair over there, can't you? Now that she adjusted the color. Kim, we can see your blonde hair now that you adjusted the color. Mexican Spec says that sounds political. I might have to time you out. Well, talking about a president that was elected with 25% 200 years ago, I don't think that's real political. It's just history at that point. It's just something unusual that happened in our history, and I have no idea whatsoever what was going on then. I just know that it happened. Okay, let's see here. Raw dog. They have budget catch, just roaming around towns and everything, but they're all taken care of. But it's like a thing where you get a cat rolling around your house, and they just come in your house. I don't know. 33 years ago is history as well. Yeah, like I said, it's like just 33 years ago, there's people in here that are still going to be really worried about the issues. Who remembers? This is something that happened with the president that's not political. Who remembers when President Ford was in his limousine in some city in the East? Jim, that's loud. Man, it's so loud. She doesn't care. Yeah, it's way too loud. So he got in an accident. Somebody, police department or Secret Service or somebody, didn't block an intersection, and some 17-year-old kid, I think in a Mustang, freaking broadsided him through an intersection. Of course, the president was allowed to run the red light, but the kid had the green light and plowed into him. Jeez. Shoot him. Okay, Mike, that's where I draw the line.
Is it over? Were you debating political?
Yeah, they start debating politics, but talking about a president that got in a crash or a president that got a speeding ticket. Oh, we got ads. A president that got a speeding ticket on a horse. I mean, I'll laugh about that shit. Kevin Smith. Buff knows by now to read my stuff silently first. Mexican Spec says, the limo is longer, so greater chance of being hit. Well, you know what happened when he got clobbered with that other car? They can't stick around. That could be an attack. The Secret Service doesn't know. They're driving that car. Whoosh, they take off. So this, God, Kim, your noise.
It's almost like we're a working shop doing.
So that this car full of 17-year-olds is sitting there in the intersection with a total Mustang or whatever it was. And all they know is somebody was a hit and run.
Presidential motorcade.
It's a presidential motorcade.
Man. Mom, it wasn't my fault. It was the presidential motorcade. Uh-huh.
Ad for Brooks running shoes, says Inspector Bruce.
Are you planning on buying some running shoes there, Bruce?
It's 2 points.
Absolutely, you get 2 points. I was just curious if he's in the market for running shoes.
Next Inspect says if a president gets a speeding ticket, do the taxpayers pay for it or does it come out of his pay? Well, I think the last president that got a speeding ticket was probably Ulysses Grant on a horse. Kim, my God. That is so loud.
Giving me grief. I'm trying to do work. You're just jibba-jabbing.
So one of those is backwards. No, 2 of them are backwards. I guess one of them is backwards. Depends on which way you look at it.
One of them was completely wrong.
Yeah, Mike Henn says the police officer gets reassigned to the jail. Yeah, you really wonder what happened there because it happened, from what I read, it happened more than once that Grant got speeding tickets in Washington, D.C. while he was president on his horse. It's just amazing.
I don't think that
we don't let the president drive. Well, there's another story. President Johnson was in Texas, some big get-together, Secret Service there, of course, and everything. And there was a woman there, and Johnson was hitting on the woman. And they jumped in a car, and he drove off. They didn't know where he went. He drove off with this woman. And he came back hours later, and they're chewing his ass out for, You're not supposed to drive off without the Secret Service, you know. So there's another presidential story that's kind of funny, automotive related. You know, the president just drives away. What are you going to say? Wouldn't the horse get the ticket?
Diplomatic immunity. You know what? All people in Congress, they cannot be.
Oh, they have immunity about misdemeanors if they're on their way to a
Right.
vote in Congress.
Right. They
Yeah.
cannot be disrupted. They have to be allowed to do their thing.
Mexican spec President Johnson, the second President Johnson, not the first President Johnson. The first President Johnson would have been on a horse. The second President Johnson, yeah, he was at some get together in Texas and got in some car with a woman and drove off. Just, yeah, Lyndon Johnson. I think that's just hilarious. Roan Bertram off kilter lake pipes. Off kilter lake pipes. President Sloan Johnson. There's actually a story about like Nixon or Ford's motorcade smashing someone's Nova or something. Oh yeah, it was Ford, and they were supposed to have all the intersections blocked off, but either the local police or the Secret Service, whoever had that intersection, was assigned to them to block off. It didn't get done. So the presidential motorcade, they run the red light, and this 17-year-olds, I think they were in a Mustang, plowed into the side of the presidential limousine. Well, you know, they took off. So now these 4 17-year-olds are in this wrecked car in an intersection, and all they know is it was a hit and run. You know, they had the green light. So, yeah, actually, that was President Ford, and he got on TV and apologized to these kids for what happened. But it wasn't his fault either, you know. Whoever was the agency that was responsible for that messed up. You know, this kind of shit's gonna happen. You know.
Kevin.
What's this?
Nothing. They're just being silly.
Dean Stevenson says, "I'm Craig. Make it stop." I don't know what he's talking. LBJ, you could travel. Oh, geez, let's say that. There's another thing that's funny about Johnson. John was a big guy, you know, and when he talked to people, he always liked to look down at them. He always liked to tower over them. So in Air Force One, he had the seat that he sat in his desk. He could sit there and jack the thing up higher and higher. So when somebody came in to talk to him at his desk in Air Force One, he make sure he was taller than them, looked down. So I think that's funny too. Yeah, I would have been chasing down the presidential limousine. Yeah, but I mean, I think the car was pretty much totaled, you know, like going through a green light in a city, you know, what are you doing? Like 35 miles an hour and wham, hit a bulletproof car? Holy shit, you know, that couldn't have been fun. You know, and then you're 17 and you got a bunch of kids in your car. What goes through your mind when you're 17? You have a big old crash like that, and the other car runs off. You're thinking about what you're going to tell your parents, why you wrecked your car. The whole thing's kind of hilarious, actually. Oh, God. I have to tune in my AM radio for that. That Secret Service and interface thing, but you can't stop and exchange papers. That's right. They did Secret Service did exactly what they're supposed to do. They took off. So, it was a Mustang too. It would have been a roadblock. I always thought it was a 57 Chevy for some reason, but it wasn't because I read about it later, and it was a 60s car, and I'm thinking it was a Mustang, but I'm not sure. It could have been good. Paul Harvey, good day. Oh, remember that? Good day. President Presley bought them a new Cadillac. Yeah. He didn't run for president, did he? There's people that probably run for president like they would win just because, like Elvis Presley, not a politician, just win because everybody knew who he was. Stevens, oh, Mexican Specs says maybe and maybe not. Ford took over in 74 and went out in 76. So maybe, yeah, he didn't serve a full term. I don't get to hear it anymore. Tammy Bruce is on TV. I don't know. Paul says now that they got enough guys, they could task someone to stop and help arrest whoever crashed like that. Well, it was their fault. They ran the red light. They'd have to arrest. They'd have to arrest their own people. They'd have to arrest the Secret Service that didn't block the intersection. Actually, I think it was the local police department that the Secret Service had tasked with blocking the intersections, and they missed one of them. So, presidential limousine goes through the red light. And, wow. Oops. Then all of a sudden, the Secret Service looks like a bunch of Keystone Cops.
Yeah, now the president travels in a motorcade of multiple vehicles.
Let's see it. In October 75, a yellow 68 Buick LeSabre hit President Ford's armored limousine. Oh, okay, so it was a 68 Buick LeSabre? I was thinking it was a Mustang.
4 points, Mexican Spec,
you
for
found
clarifying
and
articulating the exact situation.
I knew it was
Thank you.
I knew it was a state in the Northeast. And I knew it was a city in a state in the Northeast. It was hard for Connecticut. You're right. That accident happened.
Picture the butternut yellow Buick LeSabre, yeah.
That accident happened after Ford had given a speech at a Republican fundraising dinner. And that's very possible. But that's where it was, yeah. And the story was the intersection wasn't blocked. Man, can you imagine being a 17-year-old? And you're being careful, going through a green light? And now everybody thinks you're a dumbass.
I'm surprised they didn't just blame him.
Potato Joe. We seen well, you know, Jay Leno, when Joe Biden was vice president, Jay Leno did a show with him, and they went out, and Joe was driving his Corvette around, and that was interesting. But, you know, he's making sense then. Mexican Spec says, I need the points. Mexican Spec says, I had a gold 68 Buick LeSabre. It was a present to myself for my 17th birthday. Well, that's pretty cool. 68 Buick LeSabre, man, that's a big-ass car. Probably a black on yellow car. You know, those cars were enormous. How big was the trunk on that? That's back when Mike said it was on a closed road. What was on a closed road? With Biden's on the Corvette. Yeah, I think they did it somewhere around the White House or something. Some place where they rode around like Jay Leno was riding with him in the Corvette. If that's the one you're talking about. Dean Stevens C is very accurate. He hangs out with Steve Leto. Leto's Law. Yeah, there's a guy that's interesting to listen to. Yeah, you know, you go into Leto's Law, big channel. Lots of people in alive. And who's there? Mexican Spec's there. And Dean Stevenson's there. That's pretty interesting. Let's see, the bigger, the better for me. From the beginning, first came my Fury, then the Buick was number 2. So you had, that Fury was your first car and you still have it? Wow. Was that the Fury that you still have now? Oh. Yeah, those Buicks had, I had a Pontiac that was mine was a 67 Pontiac full-size car, but same size trunk. I mean, that's when you counted how many bodies you could get in the trunk. Probably get 10, 12 people in there, you know. That was a really nice video. Jay and Joe was a good clip. Yeah, they were driving around together, but that was, God, what was that? That was 15, that's probably 16, 17 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, something like that. And Danny Boyd is there, and Boomer is there, and a few others in our group. Yeah, I've only been on one live of Steve Latos. I watch all his videos, but I don't participate in the lives very often. Also, it's not too bad, Max. My dad had an old Electra 225 pillarless hardtop. Bit worn out, but very nice. Next inspect, yes, I bought her in April of '82. 43 years with her this month. Wow, you have your original car. That's really cool. I let my '64 Ford go. That was my first car. I had it for 17 years. I shouldn't have let that car go. But yeah, it's gone. Next inspect, my LeSabre had 176,000 miles on it. It burned a little oil. Man, that's something when you remember a car that you had when you're 17 years old and knew how many miles it had on it. Paul says that might have been the first starter I changed, that Electra. Dean Stevens says, and Danny Boyd and Buff. And Buff what? Let's see. Dr. Go! Hey, we were just talking to you. Talking about you. Actually, talking about your car. Your bright red car.
We were having some discussion of FJ and M bodies.
Yeah, FJ and M bodies, or M bodies. And of course, your car came up, and I was talking about what a great car that thing is. It's over 40 years old. And I said, that car, when you're riding in it, feels like a year-old car that somebody took real good care of. I mean, that's about the nicest one out there. Dr. Go says my 72 Newport C-body was just over 10 inches wider than my 94 full-size E150 and 14 inches longer. Those old C-bodies were huge, weren't they? It's like an acre of land in front of you. It's like an aircraft carrier. Although I like driving them. I like driving those old C-bodies. Now I have a 65 Wildcat. It was a fastback, but now a convertible. What? Now I have a 65 Wildcat that was a fastback, but now a convertible. What happened to that? When I sit behind the wheel of her with the smells, I am 16 again. I also like Bill Clinton and his silver Mustang. I didn't know it was silver. I know he had a Mustang and he had an El Camino. And he said he had an El Camino and he liked it because he put, now this would have me laughing. You know, I don't know what they were doing in Arkansas then, but he put AstroTurf in the back and he thought that was pretty cool. I never heard of anybody doing that. But he had an El Camino that had AstroTurf in the back of it and he had a Mustang. But I never knew what color those cars were. So it was silver. You know about the loss of fastbackness. Yeah, those cars were. They had like a big, long, sweeping top that went back. I like those things, but they were kind of big. Let's see, same with my '69 Camaro spec. Still smells like 1993 to me. No, I'd rather have a fastback groove. It does have a rebuilt 401 nailhead right now. Really? I didn't even know you had that. Dean Stevenson. Oh, well, I just want ice cream with no tariff. Newports need a port to park. Okay, yeah, you need Kim, you getting tired?
A little, why?
Okay, because I'm thinking you want to shut it down.
No, go ahead.
Next inspect says it's a different world inside your first car. You know, that's how I feel. I look inside a '64 Ford and it's like, oh man, that looks pretty good. But most of them are either they're ravaged or somebody wants 50 grand for them. You know, It's like, nah, so I won't have that. I presume, Olive says, I presume you talked to Dallas about all the Buick things. Yeah, Dallas knows his Buicks, doesn't he?
Sure does. That's his favoritist.
Jeez. Stray bullets. Spilled beer and cigarette smoke never fully goes away. Gene Stevenson, Del Campo, the famous one. Buick is waiting for me to get back to him. Right now, my cat sleeps in it. Uh-oh. Man, I had a king midget. My cat was sleeping in that. And you know what the cat did? The cat decided that she was going to, maybe it was a he was going to mark that upholstery so it was always his. Man, the cat smell was in that king midget.
That stinks.
That stinks.
Not in the literal, nor in the cat. Why would you do that?
The oval steering wheel and push button trams always gets me. Oh, what was that on? Let's see, which one is that? The older Chrysler products were like that. Wildcat by name, and now by nature. They're small to me. I'm used to Cadillac Hearse. Oh yeah, that's a big car. Paul says, Max, speaking of my Volvo, it's time for much delayed parts of brake and suspension overhaul. Oh, you brought a steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Carfano had my Buick since 1988. The Sabre noses Buicks. Dr. Go, hello Mexican Spec. Stray Bullet, I was just kidding. Original cars do have a distinct smell. Stray Bullet. King Midget? Yeah, King Midget. There were 3 generations of King Midgets. The first one was narrow and only single-seater. The second and third generation were side-by-side, 2-seaters. Their little tiny car had mine was a second gen, and it had a Wisconsin 1-cylinder engine with one of those transmissions like Kim put on her mini bike. So it'd go about 45 miles an hour, single-cylinder engine. And you can look it up, King Midget. I think the third gen really looked funny. I think the second gen was kind of a cool-looking little car. Oh, Buff, what car has an oval steering wheel and push button? My 63 Futura. I guess those are a little oval, aren't they? Because some of the Chrysler products were very almost square, like the shape of a TV screen, you know. Yeah, but I guess the 63s were oval, weren't they? They looked round, but they weren't all the way round. Well, better than a skunk smell. Oh, Stray Bullet says, I know what they are. You have, yeah, I had a 54 King Midget for, I don't know, I had it for about 10 years. I shouldn't have sold that one either.
That was a trade.
Yeah, I traded for something. Carl's my friend that got killed in a stupid accident in Arizona a couple of years ago. He was a super Mopar guy. And I don't know, we did something where he ended up with a King Midget. Then he sold it to another guy, and then I don't know what happened to it. Kevin Smith, worst thing for a stink in a car is milk. Ugh. I had to scrap my 77 LTD when my daughter spilled her bottle under my seat. Couldn't get the stink out of that car. Oh, man.
You're screwed. Well, I mean, I guess if you changed all the upholstery.
Dean Stevenson says banana milk is the worst. Kevin Smith says monkey milk. That is a steering column. Yeah, this is a steering column from a Spitfire. I don't know. I was going to say Sprite, and I knew that was wrong. Spitfire.
You keep calling that car the wrong thing.
I know. It's some little British, slow little British car.
I mean, it's not going to be a fast car. That's not part of the thing. I mean, it won't be too bad. It'll just be a little light thing. I probably won't want to go any faster than it can. I doubt it's going to go 120 though.
Mexican Spec says that steering wheel has to be worth at least $300 US. Well, the thing is, I'm going to clean that up and we'll probably use it.
Yeah.
I mean, that'll.
I don't think it's worth 300.
I think it'll be.
Not in good condition.
It'll connect up to the steering gear, and it'll probably, if I were to clean that all up and paint it and everything, it'd probably be. Is this? You can see that's not really squishy stuff. I could probably paint that and get away with it, and it'll be okay. The logo in the middle it's broken, but we can put something in there. Stray Bullet says they used to advertise King Midget cars in the back of magazines. It was every boy's dream to own one. Yeah, you could buy it as a kit or a complete car. They made them from like 1948, 47 or 48, something that up to 68. And of course, 68, all our safety standards and emission controls and all that stuff came in. Of course, a King Midget wasn't going to pass any of that. So, yeah, it's pretty much done in.
I guess that's why you can't make a King Midget now, because you'd never be allowed to ride it.
The only thing you could make a King Midget, but it would be, drive it on a go-kart track or something. Yeah, you couldn't drive it on the street. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff you can drive one of, but you can't produce it and sell it, because then it does have to meet all the
Yeah, but I don't think
all the
you
stuff.
can build one and drive that on the street. Too small.
Mexican Spec says sell it by a cheap one. Yeah, except this all works. I don't know. Mike. Did you say the steering wheel or column was worth that much?
I don't know if it's any good. I haven't tested it.
But Carafano should have kept my 67 C10 at 396 4-speed out of a 69 Chevelle. Not only that, the 67 was a one-year cab. And to me, the most desirable of all the old Chevy trucks, because it had a small window in the back. All the others had a big window. 67 was the only of that body that had the small window, and I think that looks so good. And a lot of it was just because it was the only year that was that way. Oh, says that wheel is a good candidate to lace leather wrap onto it. If anyone's got the patience. Man, remember those things? It was like a rubbery foam stuff, and then you're talking about the one you wrap the lace all the way around. Man, that's a 50-year-old thing. I had one of those on my 64 Ford.
Those are nice. I want one of those on my car.
Can you still get those?
Oh, yeah.
They still make those. I bought one over 50 years ago.
That's a good thing.
I bought one in 1970.
It's your standard kind of thing.
Because now they have those big steering wheel covers that look like they like stretch them on and they're like 1.5 inches around. I hate those things.
Too lazy to do the install. I need one though.
Kevin Smith says I was ready to get rid of that car anyway. Let's see here. Stray Bullet, I dreamed of pulling up to elementary school in my King Midget.
I bet you did. I don't remember what I wanted.
Man, in junior high school, like 7th grade, 8th grade, I was really getting into flying. And you know how a kid dreams about wanting to do stuff. I wanted to fly a helicopter to school. Parking lot was big enough I could have landed a helicopter. I thought that would have been so cool. I was, what a stupid thing for a kid to think,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to fly a helicopter to school. Oh, God. Let's see here. Mexican Spec, it was way too small for me. Dr. Go, a steering wheel almost killed me when I wasn't wearing a seatbelt almost 50 years ago. Nobody wore them back then. Oh, I did. After I recovered, I've worn my seatbelt ever since. I rode with you several times. You always had your seatbelt on.
Who?
Dr. Go.
Oh, yeah.
He gave me a ride in his car, not just down the drag strip, but he drove me into Sykeston from the drag strip and back up.
And then he gave us a ride home to Clarksville.
Well, he took a lot of my stuff back to Clarksville, yeah, because they were going to Clarksville, of all the places to go.
They came to visit us. It was nice.
Yeah, that was really good.
Really nice of us. In the ER, I was rattled. Man, I was afraid to even get back in the car after that. That was traumatic.
What is this? To an essential cross between go-kart and lawnmower cost you just $133. What is this? Oh, where is that 133 US taking you? I don't know. Buddy Carl found a 67 C10 small window, best grill for that body. the whole 67. You know what I did? I had a paper out then. I was 13 years old. Those came out. There was a hobby shop that was close to my paper out. And I used to go in there, and that
You guys are
woman,
getting them all excited. He's talking fast.
that woman that owned that hobby shop kept that thing stocked with every model car you could imagine. And I went in there, and I bought a 67 Chevy small window pickup truck model, 125th scale, and built that. And I remember it so well. I just love the way those trucks look. Yeah, pretty good. Not talking about granny wraps, which can be okay, but I mean the kind like you order from the back of Road and Track and so on. Oh, I don't know about that. She called the one I had like a granny wrap. This is real leather you can wet down and form into place and sew real tight around the inside. I don't know. Never done one of those. Straight bullet. Well, now, sure, but you were 6'5" to 45 and ripped in elementary school. Mexican spec. Dean Stevens said, well, George Jetson would fly his boy Elroy to school. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Kim is polishing the splines.
Yeah, I got to put it back together so we can move it around.
She's trying to get the rust out of the steering column splines. He also used to walk his dog out on a dog walk that stuck out like from his apartment that was way up in the air. And the dog would run real fast and he'd flap around. Who wrote that stuff? It was hilarious. Kevin Smith, I had a cat that would ride my 63 Mercury with the breezeway window. He'd walk around the fenders like you on a boat 50 miles an hour down the road. Oh, man. Okay, ads.
More ads? Wow, we must really be like the only one. Is there anybody else streaming this time of night on a Friday? When I go on there, I can't find anybody else streaming. Nobody else wants to do it.
So Kevin Smith said the cat would walk around back there on the back fenders. If you do on a boat at 50 miles an hour going down the road. I got to remember that. That's good enough to be on a cartoon or a movie or something. And he says, what a cat, rest in peace, Georgia. Yeah. You know, I was in the Los Angeles area somewhere many, many years ago. I was in my 64 Ford. Roll along, 4 lanes of traffic, got the window down, and there's a big Chrysler, like about a late 60s Chrysler C-body, like an Imperial or something. And it's got big flat hood, big flat tail end, and there's like 4 older people in it. I was a young guy. So this car comes up, and it's slowly passing me, and I look over at it, and there's a camera sitting on the back fender on the right side. So I lean on the horn and look over these people, and they look over at me like this, and they stick their nose up in the air. They're not going to look at me. I lean on the horn some more, and some more, and some more, and finally one of them looks over, and I point at the back of their car, and they're not looking, and I do it some more, and finally one of them looks back, and they see the camera riding back there outside. And then they look at me like, thank you, and wave, and they slowly pull off, thinking, man, they almost lost their camera. I was trying to save them, and they didn't want me to talk to them.
Check out the slop in that.
I hear with the seatbelt, I ended up in the passenger seat and my ass around. Oh, geez. What is this? Oh, I know what this is. That's a British version of a rag joint?
I think so.
Jeez.
Test it with your finger and see if you like it.
Oh, it is a little, oh, this thing has some, yeah, that's not good. Is that a U-joint? It is a little bit of a U-joint, isn't it?
It's a little bit sloppy.
It's a little bit slop. It's got, Dean Stevenson, how many degrees is this slop? Oops, this way.
It's a couple degrees.
It's got a couple of degrees of slop in it. I mean, up here at the steering wheel, you're going to feel that.
Oh, 3 or 4. Yep, we're going to have to replace that or repair that, but I'm going to put it on for now so we can move the car. Okay.
Stray bullet. That's crazy. Cool Capri. I'll never forget this. Cat walking around back there. Jane, stop that crazy thing. Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, he was yelling at Jane when he's flipping around on that dog walk. Oh, this is something you can still hunt down on eBay. But the spiral wrap ones are also much better than modern monstrosities. Yeah, I agree. As the wheels aren't thick enough for modern cars already. Yeah, those ones, the what did you call that? A spiral wrap. Those ones, if you had power steering, they're fine. Manual steering, you really had to wrap it tight and do a good job, which mine was. So, yeah, Astro the dog.
You think this is pretty good, huh?
Well, I think I can clean that up, and
I like it.
I think I can paint it.
Oh, yeah.
I think I can paint that, and it'll be really nice. I think, and then it won't feel like that. Okay, let's get to the. You see, just like real life, Buff. Wait till the UFOs become commonplace. Oh, I don't have that sweatshirt on with the alien. I was thinking I did. Mexican Spec ad, some stupid shooting game. I didn't see a name of the ad. Okay. Dr. Gold, Chrome Google ad.
You know what? Those shooting ads are really hard to tell what they are. So I'll give it to you anyways, because they don't tell you really what the name of that game is.
She's going to give you your 2 points anyway.
Yeah, I know the one you mean, and I don't know the name of that company either.
So
I've seen that ad like 50 times. I couldn't tell you what the name of that dumb game is.
Okay, so Mexican Spec says Dean Stevenson, a UFO can't become commonplace. If it does, it won't be a U.
Yeah, it'll just be a.
Well, to me, people ask me in all my flying and everything, have you ever seen a UFO? In the strict, you know, what UFO means. I've seen things I couldn't identify, but I wouldn't call it a flying saucer or an alien or something. I've seen things, it's like, what the hell is that? You know?
I mean, you knew what they were, so they didn't count the U part, you know.
Well, one time I was flying for probably an hour, and there was a bright thing out in front of me, just out there by same altitude. And I like, man, and then it went out. It just, piff, it was gone. But I think what it was over the top of a military base, about where a military base was. It was near Fort Ord, California. And I think what it was a flare that was on a parachute. And I think it was out there lighting up an area. And I think it was just sitting there. And it was way out in front of, probably 100 miles in front of me. But it was so bright that it just was this thing floating, you know. But I think that's what it was.
If
but I don't
you know what kind of alien ship it is,
I don't.
Is it a UFO?
But there's a lot of people probably would have thought it was a UFO.
I mean, he knew what they all were, so they weren't considered UFOs. You don't call them out if you know it's an alien.
What is this, Dean Stephen? Do we have children in here? He says, WTF, I could just say what that means. Strings, but wasted talent fabrication, that's WTF, has found an awesomeness coded program. So he does dudes with wrenches. Oh man, I got so tired of dudes with wrenches. That just kept, the shorts kept coming up. And then I finally made a new name for him, and I'm trying to remember what that was. What was that, Kim? That I made something up silly that was dudes with wrenches. Oh, I know what it was. It wasn't nice.
Don't say it.
It was dudes with wenches. It was a guy sitting on a park bench with these, you know, some prostitutes. Dudes with wenches. Yeah.
Can't say that.
I can't say that on the stream.
No, you have to stop right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm serious. Never, no.
I said there are no kids in here this late.
I don't care. Don't do it anymore, okay?
2 degrees from disaster. Dean Stevenson says it's 3 1/3 degrees.
Hey, check it out. Come over and look. You can see the tools again.
Yeah, Straight Bullet says, why are the steering wheels so thick now? Yeah, they are. They're big and fat. And the steering wheel's like you drive like an old Plymouth, like a C-body or a big Buick or something. They're really thin, big wheel.
People prefer. That's just the preferred.
Stinking padding for safety. We could get hurt these days. more than 2 degrees of separation. It would be safe in some places in Virginia and West Tennessee, but not on that shaft. What? What's up with? Oh, what's up with? What's there, Buff? It's getting sticky or delaminating or something. I don't know.
It's fine.
No, it's fine.
It's
It's just kind of cruddy.
He's just thinking.
It's a little bit soft, but it's just cruddy
He's
feeling.
just thinking about making it even better than it is. But
Yeah,
it's fine as far as old car steering wheels go.
It's soft and porous enough that I couldn't wax it to make it better. It would be, it's just not going to feel nice. Same reason they got rid of wing windows. Someone may get impaled on a crash. Well, I always thought they got rid of the wing windows because it saved $1, probably saved $100. Wash your brains off the dash and drive the dang car. It failed to pay the power. Government should not be in the business saving people from themselves. That's what they said for years and years and years when the governor of California, 2 different parties, many governors, kept vetoing the bill that would make a helmet law. And then a governor came along and signed it. They finally got a helmet law in California. But when I used to ride motorcycles in California, I'd wear a helmet sometimes, but you didn't have to. They weren't going to save you from yourself. Dr. Go, my Chrysler Power Steering pump has so much assist that if I wanted to, I could spin that car out steering. With just one finger with no resistance. Yeah, I remember the old Chryslers. It felt like there was a wheel bearing. It felt just like a bearing that was connected to nothing. And you would just,
especially if you're revving the engine, so the pump's got all the RPMs.
Like 1970, 71-ish. I remember driving a 71 Charger one time, and it felt like the steering wheel was not even connected to anything, but the car steered around. But there was zero feel. But I kind of got used to it. I kind of liked it. I remember some big C bodies like that too from the late 60s had that feel. You can say the word women. Kevin Smith, I have a wench. She's upstairs. I have wenches here in my wench drawer. You see? Wenches.
Yeah, get us canceled.
Let's see here. Or Warden No Pearl for me. I remember a guy had a Russian wife, and he used to call her the Marshallista because she was in charge of the family. He'd go, I got to check with the Marshallista first. Oh, it says we actually had some pretty confounding UFO sightings in this town years ago. Really hard to figure out. But I know countermeasure flares when I see them. I live by an airport. Yeah, this flare was, I was flying an airplane that's going like 130, 140 miles an hour. For like an hour, that thing was out in front of me. And I'm like, man, what is that? At first I thought it was like going the same speed I was. And after a while, I decided that it was just so bright and it was out there so far that it was not moving. I decided it was not moving.
In the east, Buff saw a star.
Let's see, Dr. Goat, comfy ride and comfy steering and super comfy bucket seats. I love it all. Man, how was that thing driving it with all that weight in it? All my crap I had in your car after the crash.
Yeah, they had all their stuff and then
they had
most
all
of
their
our
stuff. We put all our stuff in Kim's car, her 66, and the drive shaft, I think, was rubbing in the tunnel or something.
How did I fix the drive shaft? Would we change different drive shaft when we put the different transmission in?
Yeah, and we took all the stuff, or a lot of it, put their Dr. Go's car.
No, I mean, it's fixed now. The drive shaft doesn't rub because we put the smaller diameter drive shaft back in when we changed it to an automatic transmission. Yeah. because the problem was the drive shaft was too big around, so it was rubbing everywhere.
You see,
Still
they
needs a
have
bumper cover.
airbags now. They have to be the base for the bag. On old cars, wheels were made to bend easily to cause less damage. You're probably right. Now, I remember when the first airbag cars came out in the 90s, that center thing, it's like what, 93, 92, 93, 94. That center thing in the wheel was enormous. And now they've learned how to tuck them in and make them look good again. Because we have cars with airbags, and they're not so big, nasty looking steering wheels. But they're still thick. They're big around. I know our Jeep has a really big around steering wheel, and I don't mind it. But I kind of like when I get in my Zed sled, and it feels really thin. But I remember it didn't feel as thin as like some of the cars from the 60s, like a 68 Buick or something. They were really thin. Most of those laws are about making money, not saving lives. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's whatever they can do to get some agreement somewhere and get laws passed. Stray bullet. Some of that could be fixed by a knowledgeable alignment technician. Well, except I think those power steering units were really powerful. We're the government. We're here to help you. I've heard that kind of stuff. Although, when I was flying, we used to have a FAA guy come around, and he came around to our EAA chapter one time and had us sitting on a chair that they could spin around. And the chair had switches in front of you and some things down here, and had a panel up here where there were switches. And a lot of airplanes have switches up there. And he'd turn you real slow in this chair. You're supposed to have your eyes closed, or maybe he put a blindfold or something. I think you're supposed to have your eyes closed, and he'd go he'd just be turning you slowly. And he'd go, reach up and switch one of the switches, and he'd tell you which switch. I guess you had to look at it. And I'd look up there, and man, as soon as I'd swing my head up like that, it felt like that chair flipped over. It's like, whoa, that was a rude awakening. And the whole idea was you were supposed to pay attention to the instruments and looking out the window, not pay attention to how you felt. Because if you move the controls to try to fix the way you felt when you looked up there, and what it was your inner ear was turning this way, and now it turned that way, oh man, that played a trick on your brain. And that was a government guy came in and had that demonstration for us. I learned something that day. It was pretty good. So sometimes they can't help you. C-body over-assisted to the point of having zero feedback, making them feel stupid. It felt weird, but I got used to it. I had a 72 Polara, and I remember it had no feel, but I got used to it, and it was okay. You just kind of guided, like 2 fingers, guided down the road. It's interesting. Kevin Smith, we don't go there, but most of you guys don't seem to realize how much realize how much I'm trying to get the double.
All of is expressing her distaste with how things are going in the government, and
now
I see some signs of life, and I hope that things are righting. It's taking a little time, but that's just my opinion, and I'm just hopeful.
What happens when things go really stupid? The courts save us. But I don't want to go to it any further. So let's see here. We don't go there, but most of you guys. Okay, I already read that. Hey Doc, I didn't see you before. Oh, okay, yeah, he's been here. Kevin Smith says my 95 Oldsmobile still steers very hard, even with new power steering pump. Not easy like older cars. Yeah, the power is less. I think it helps you more when you're sitting still. You can still steer it, but when you're going down the road, it has feel, which is kind of nice. The first car I drove like that started having feel were second-gen Pontiac Trans Ams, like 78, 77, 78, 79 Trans Ams. I noticed they had not so powerful steering, and you had some more road feel, and that's when I first noticed it with those cars. But when you were sitting still, you could still steer it. You know, it wasn't like a car with manual steering. Andrew Button, Fox body and Ford's 1990 and later, absolutely terrible looking, huge airbag. Yeah, I agree. Dr. Goes, Stray, the steering wheel isn't loose. It's just easy like my 72 Chrysler. They have huge pumps, drove level and fine as it needed leaf springs. They were heavy duty trailer towing package like original. Me must have fell asleep, Kevin Smith.
We wore Kevin Smith out.
I've been droning on and put the guy to sleep.
Sometimes that's good. Stray Bullet suggests that caster should create some resistance and a tendency to return to center that will also give some road feedback. He knows a lot more about alignment than me.
That's true.
Did we ever put out? I don't think we ever published that video about
No, we didn't.
car alignments.
No, we didn't. I did something on wheel alignments. I should put that back together and do it. That was the amount of time I had in editing that thing. The power steering on Chryslers, you know, there's a valve down there. When you move the steering wheel, it opens the valve one way or the other and puts hydraulic pressure one direction or the other. And they really lightened those up, so it didn't take much pressure to move that valve. And then you are right about the caster. Although you put too much caster, if you have any looseness in the front end, you'll have shimmy. Negative caster, it steers easier, but doesn't return to center. I go on and on about this stuff. And then that's, of course, on the street. If you're racing, everything's different because you have different goals. Yeah, now the airbag in some cars can be as dangerous as the accident itself. Now, my aunt was in her 80s, and she was in a car not too long after the airbags came out. She was backing out of her driveway, didn't hit anything, turned around like this to look out, and the airbag hit her in the side of the face, knocked her silly. And that was not nice. They don't know why it went off. Kevin Smith, Zed Sled. Is that the name we settled on for your Zephyr? Well, kind of people were saying that, and I don't know who it was came up with it. A couple people. Then later on another one, Olive said she goes, I could settle it for that name or something. And I said, that's pretty easy. And I'd written it down. I have there's a file I have that's on my desktop that I put little notes to myself, like when my doctor appointment is next week, shit like that. And I wrote in there Zed Sled. So it's written on those notes of mine. So I thought, yeah, it's easy. And then if it's Zed Sled, then I can say Zed, and Dean isn't going to get upset with me. Stray Bullet, the caster should create some resistance and a tendency to it will to a certain extent, unless that valve. I think you could go into that valve and change I'd have to look at how that valve is, but I think you could put stronger springs in there, but then you're going into a power steering unit if you really want to do that. All drives, serious problems there too, Buff. But not.
Yeah, just move on.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Kevin's, Olive and Kevin are
talking
going
about
on about politics. Yeah, I think we should just skip over it, or else it'll get.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, let's stop the current politics, unless you're going to talk about somebody's car.
Yep. Unless it has something.
Or it's like ancient politics, like who won an election in 1832.
Careful to think a way to do that.
Yeah.
So I think we stick with automotive stuff here because that's what we talk about. And I mean, maybe it's time to be done anyways. We've been going for 3.5 hours.
Dean Stevens, Zappa Man would be my choice.
Did you write down Ruffles as the name for the Spitfire? Why is Ruffles?
Ruffles?
Was Ruffles?
Oh, because of something on that car that had ruffles.
It had ridges?
What had ruffles?
I know, Olive. It's not that big a deal. It doesn't take the conversation anywhere we can follow it.
Well, you know, it's the extremes. That's what it is. Word salad from both sides. I don't want it in here.
Well, what'll happen is
then the argument starts, and then everybody leaves.
Right. Then it
turns. I have a suggestion for people that want to do that. Have this kind of discussion. Go start a channel. Invite all the people in that want to have that kind of thing, and enjoy it. Enjoy the argument.
Go on Reddit. They have lots of political arguments.
No, start your own live and go in there and invite all the people in that
I mean,
like
you
that
might
stuff.
keep you might
And
be up all night.
you might
having a
keep
good-
an audience
It
like
might
that.
be really.
I just don't think
I mean, there's radio people who do political commentary all evening.
and I'm the guy
Or
that
used to be.
I'm the guy when I'm listening to a talk show that's like that, I check out because I don't want to sit there for the argument. It's not fun for me. Some people enjoy that, obviously, because there's a big shows with lots of people listening.
I mean, honestly, there's a lot of money in political commentary because
Okay.
they pay people big money to be pundits for one side or the other.
Okay, so let's see here.
Because of the ridges.
Okay, so Zed Sled says Zed Sled is the best we've heard yet. And best of all, there's an in joke there. In joke, because it's Zed, I think. Dean Stevens, it's nice that the dialogue continues, but my family on my now New Zealand having handicapped and binary people on the okay, I don't know what that's all about. Okay, did you write down Ruffles is the name for the Spitfire? Man, I did not. I'm okay with Dean says I'm okay with Zed. I need to scratch it. That ratchet. Scratch that ratchet. No, please. He says I like it here. Skippy the. Okay, I don't want to do that. Okay,
Oh, the politics. I get it.
Because of the ridges. Because of the ridges. Because of the ridges. What had ridges on that car?
Ruffles. But I don't know.
Oh, it was something. Oh, I know exactly what it was. It was the rotors. The front rotors were like a potato chip, but they had ruffles, have ridges on the rotors. Yes.
I'm not ready to.
I'm not ready to name a car over that. Let's see what the car looks like, and then let's see. I have driven, Dr. Go, I've driven it 44 years and always kept alignment up, so I'm just used to it. I see a video where someone modified their Chrysler pump and got some feedback resistance. The guy is from Canada. Yeah, I think it's more the modification you need in the steering gear, where the valve that points the fluid one direction or the other. I think what creates the resistance for that valve, I think that's where you could really make a difference. But then, like I say, you got to go in the steering gear, start doing some experiments, Straight bullet, I spam the crap out of news live streams. Yeah, whatever. Let's see here. Dean Stevens said it's always fun. Nothing wrong with patriotism. Don't forget to write it down, Buff. Ruffles will grow on you. Ruffles.
If you like it, Stray Bullet, you are allowed to mention it.
I don't know. Ruffles.
You're
Ruffles, that car
it.
might not look like Ruffles afterwards.
Yeah, it seems like we should name it something more aluminum or airplane oriented.
If I made it out of corrugated metal, yeah. But we're not going to make it out of corrugated metal. That would look like crap. Look like the roof on a shed. Let's see here. Dean Stevens, like. Okay, we're toward the end there. We're getting into all that stuff.
I know everybody's just kind of defending their comments, and
I still say there's a place for it. And Olive, I was saying something to Kim about this earlier today. I think you should. I mean, you've got a channel already. I mean, I don't know if you have anything on your channel. I should go check. I think you do. Do lives, like pick a night and do it, and have these people in there and go after it and discussion. And you might do well with it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I think a new project's name will reveal itself in time. I think you're right.
We're not real good at naming projects, though. There's other people who seem to gravitate to names, and there's some names that just when you hear them, you're like, oh, this is absolutely it. Like when Pole Barn Garage, somebody suggested the Holy Goat for that.
Oh, that was a perfect name.
It was like, wow, what a great name for that car. Like no one else would ever want that name for their project. It's like it's made for it. So.
Oh, so she doesn't make content as of yet. So you know what you do? is one day you put up some content. I remember the first day I did it. I came up here to the shop. I took my phone.
Oh, yeah.
I took this phone.
It was horrible.
And the camera was here. And I looped some duct tape around and stuck it to it and stuck it to something heavy that was on a table. And then I could see that it was pointing at me and my hands. And I showed how I put how I pressed a wrist pin either into or out of a pressed, where a wrist pin presses into a connecting rod. And that was my very first video. And I haven't quit since then.
It's still up.
It's still up there. It's still my first video, and you can see that. But it's just I came up here by myself and did it and went and posted it and go.
I was important.
And I said to Kim, she'd been after me to get started. And I said, well, I did it. And she went and looked.
Proud of it.
And she goes, oh, that's pretty good. But really, it's kind of a shitty video.
It is, but
you go look at it.
You got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. And
you're going to do it. That's how the only way.
Yeah, so it was, and that's what you do. You just dive in.
You learn and you grow. There's a lot of people.
And leave your first stuff up so that, like right now, I go back and I look at that and I go, man, we've improved some.
If you want to make it private because you think it isn't the best, you could, but don't delete it. Always keep your stuff. You could see how much you've grown.
And Straight Bullet says, corrugated like a Ford Tri-Motor. Yeah, Ford Tri-Motor with all the control cables on the outside, corrugated metal. That must have been something. The alloy Spitfire. I could call it the aluminum
fire.
After doing Z, like the rest of the English-speaking world, I could do aluminium like the rest of the English-speaking world.
We could call it the Al Fire.
Oh, I don't know. We'll think of something. The car has to name itself. That's right. The car will name itself. It'll just happen. You
don't have to force it.
I
don't know how did anybody get the one?
Skip. I skipped the ad in time.
Oh, they wanted ads.
Well, it's annoying when we're talking, and we're about ready to wrap it up anyway.
Stray Bullet says we haven't heard the last of Ruffles. Well, maybe we'll incorporate Ruffles into the design. I don't know. The nice thing is some of it could be a collaborative effort at some point. Maybe not this one, maybe the next one. We'll see.
Dr. Ghost has got to do a lot of power washing this weekend. So biofreeze and ibuprofen is on my list for tomorrow.
I'm telling you, I wore myself. We had really nice weather, and I was like, oh, I got to get this stuff done. So I did a bunch of stuff, and I kicked my own butt. I was so whooped after doing stuff around here. Like, I am just not cut out for that much work, and I was really suffering. So go easy. It'll all get done someday. But
he says, I am no spring chicken, and I lack appropriate exercise, so I need to knuckle up and do it. You know what? You're a young man. When I made a comment one time on Wednesday night on HRA Live with
Dallas Brown.
Yeah, Dallas Brown and Professor P. Shane. I think it was Dallas said it. He goes, oh yeah, buffed out Campo. I'll tell you, he's no spring chicken. I thought, oh, thanks, man. So yeah, that's
You're not David Vizard either.
Let's see. David Vizard's a couple of years older than me. Let's
He's
see.
Like 90.
Mexican Spec says, adios all. It's late. You okay, Mexican Spec? Adios.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out all this time.
Yeah, you stayed till the end. Thank you.
You haven't heard the last of Ruffles.
That's fine. Bring it around.
Olive says, if I do make content, I won't use the screen name of an Irish pun on the... Why not? See, your screen name right now is one people don't forget. I mean, it's just like, you never forget that. You see it once, you never forget it. And that's one of the things. And you could actually play on that a little bit. The hat of something, I don't know. This shirt. Here's the color shirt. But you could play on that a bit, and you already have the channel. It's there. You're just not putting any content up. and people already know who you are. I mean,
Oh, you're all about getting there.
I'm just I'm giving her some suggestions. Encouragement. That's what it is. Encouragement. And you look at some channel names like mine. I had a lot of encouragement from people telling me make it this garage or that garage or this, trying to make it very car centric. And I said, I was Buff Del Campo for a year and a half with Tony. I think I'll just leave it that way. And then if I stray from the cars a little bit, maybe I go into airplanes a little bit. Maybe I cook some shrimp on the thing here, and maybe, but mostly I'm going to stay with cars. I can do that. So I don't know.
You have a short for tomorrow?
I do have a short for tomorrow.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Okay, so Dr. Go's saying goodnight. Okay, we're down. We're like half the people in here that we had earlier.
Everybody's rolling out. It got late. But you guys stuck with us. So thank you, everyone, for staying till the very, very, very end. I wanted to finish an hour ago, but you kept going.
Well, you told me no when I asked you. You know what you did tonight that was you did two really good things tonight.
What did I do?
You muggy welded that thing together and did a really nice job.
Yeah.
And you fixed the color on the screen, which...
Yeah, and I polished up this mirror a little bit.
See, that mirror, we could put that on this car, or I could put it on the Valiant.
We could put it on any car.
That Valiant really needs a good mirror.
I mean, it's not that good, but it's not busted. It could go anywhere. It's sort of a universal sort of
Kevin Smith, Dean staying after class. What do? You stay here after I shut down and you continue talking? I mean, then...
Well, we're going to start running like just a generic sort of something for an hour after we're done, just so people can hang out and chat. Maybe. We'll need moderator, though.
Put something in front of the camera that says, all politics all the time, and then we walk away.
We walk away. No,
I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that to my channel. It's not what this channel's about.
Yes.
This channel's about.
Thank you all.
Whatever we do.
Yeah. So we got some more done, but we didn't finish cleaning up the tools. But you need to go over before I leave. You need to go over and look. You can walk up to your tools.
See my. Look. Oh, my legs won't even bend after sitting there now.
Oh man.
Hey, look at there's something on the back of this shear.
That's all right. It can move.
Kim, I need some spritz oil. We're going to do this so everybody can see it.
They're not going to see it.
That's not what I want. Okay.
Well, we'll do a short on it. Stop, and say goodbye.
Point the camera toward me.
They can't see.
Why not?
No matter, because you're too far away, and this is not a camera with zoom. And I cannot set up.
I don't know. Can they see me over there? Oh,
not
yeah, you
really.
can point it over there. See, and this shear, I can stick some random piece of metal in there. Let's see if I can make this work. See, he's still. I just sheared this, but it's 52 inches wide, so we can shear some big pieces on there. So I don't know. Did they see that?
Yes.
Maybe they saw that.
See, that transmission was underneath the pedal, so you couldn't.
Oh, yeah, there's a transmission under there, so when I push the pedal, it wouldn't go down. Now it goes down. Hey, thank you.
Now I got to figure out where to put the transmission.
You did three really cool things.
I did a bunch of cleaning up tonight.
You did three really cool things
and I ate a cupcake. You got me cupcakes earlier. You guys have been great.
So
it's getting pretty late.
So we're gonna say goodnight. Say goodnight, Kim.
Good night, Kim.
Good night, Kim. That's what you're supposed to say. Good night, Kim. When I say good night, Kim, you're supposed to say good night, Kim.
I understand.
You understand? Okay.
Everybody, we will be back. Oh, we won't be back.
We won't be back tomorrow night. We have
maybe Sunday, but we have an event on Sunday morning.
Well, that might be
a swap meet kind of thing.
That might be a good thing to come in after that. I don't know.
Well, I mean that's morning.
And then
so
Sunday
by
night. And then Sunday night is Tony. So if we come in Sunday, we'd be after Tony. We did after the Tony show.
And Monday is nice to take off because then we have our regular Tuesday night show. So thanks, everybody.
Take care. Good night.
Have a great night.